Hello everybody, welcome to another live stream. I hope you're all doing well, hope everybody's having a really good day and that your week has been good so far. It is my Friday, so I'm really excited. Super tired though, because by this point I have been working all week and I am ready for sleep. I'm actually early today, which is like super rare, but I had like a really weird set of circumstances which made it possible for me to be early, which is really nice. Long story short, I couldn't do one of my places the night before last night, so I did it yesterday during the day, which then meant I got home really early yesterday. So I got to sleep at like 2:45, which normally I'm getting to sleep at like 6 in the morning. And then I was up at like 8 in the morning, so I didn't sleep well enough, but I did enough to be able to get started. And so here I am, we're ready to get started. Leonardo, hello, nice to see you, welcome. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, that's kind of how things have been going. So it's been an early start, which is shocking because it's never an early start for me. So we're good. Yeah, no other news really, nothing else exciting going on. Chadley, how you doing, man? How's work? Or you're just getting to work, right? How are things? How's your week been started so far? But yeah, there's no other news. It's pretty quiet here. I'm trying to think of anything going on. I don't think there's anything going on. Yeah, I'm still kind of groggy. I've been up for a few hours now. Almost 4 hours I've been up. But just the week has caught up to me. I'm so tired. I can't wait. About halfway through, yeah. But yeah, yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I've been trying to come up with ideas for videos. I have like 0 ideas right now. So, well, I've got a couple, but I'm too lazy to work on them because they're for longer content stuff. And I got to do a bunch of research to get it done. I've got a couple of ideas for some potential shorter videos, but I haven't really sat down to write anything out. It's just been a really long week. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to sit down and write some stuff. I'm hoping to record something today. I don't know. I've been just like shooting stuff off the cuff the last few days. But I need to sit down and do some videos because I haven't done like decent videos in a little bit. So I got to get on that. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, I also got re-accepted into the Deep Silver Collectors Creative Collective, or whatever they call it, Creators Collective, which is like the partnership with Deep Silver. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with them. They were awesome. They kind of went quiet for a little while there, just because they revamped the way that they were doing things. So I was able to get back in with them, and there should be some more stuff from Deep Silver coming through soon. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to try to dedicate a bit more time to it this time. The last few times when I did Metro and when I did... I can't remember what the other game's called. The one that's like Grand Theft Auto but isn't. When I did that one, it was like I didn't spend enough time with it. I'm gonna try to spend more time and do longer form videos and see what happens, and then obviously some streams with like Dead Island's coming out soon. Hopefully I can get a key for that, and then I'll do a review and we'll do some streams with that, and that'll be interesting. But yeah, I'm really excited that I'm still working with them. That's always been really fun for me because I'm a huge fan of Dead Island. Like I've you can see it right there. That briefcase, that's actually part of the Dead Island Collector's Edition for Dead Island. That one I think is Dead Island Riptide actually. But it came with like, she's in my computer now, so I can't show you her, but she came with like a little hula, or it came with like a little hula island zombie. And then it's got like a can opener, and then it had a wooden key dangly for your keychain. But I don't like having danglies on my keys, mainly because they end up breaking off or they end up getting wrecked, and that one was made of wood, so I figured it would get really dirty and gross, so I kept it in the box. But the hula girl, I was like, I gotta put her in my case because I can look into my case and I like seeing the hula girl just, you know, dancing away. She doesn't move obviously, but still. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. There's not too much exciting. So I guess we'll just get started. I'm gonna just jump right in. Yeah, we're gonna actually have like a normal length stream today, like what I'm supposed to be scheduled for. I haven't been starting till like 11 or 1:15, so I'm usually like almost an hour behind, but I'm actually like, I'm even 2 minutes early right now, but we're gonna start right into gaming. And I don't know what I'm doing. We did everything that WeWin suggested, the places she wanted me to check out, and now it's just about trying to move forward with the story. So I'm just gonna try to follow those little wispy things on the map and see where we end up, and that's kind of what's gonna happen. So I guess we'll just do that. So let me open up the game here, turn down the music, turn up the game. Okay. I thought I turned this on. I guess not. Oh, why is it doing that? That's so weird. So I've got one of these dangly things. You just heard a ding. These USB dongles for the Xbox controller, because I have obviously the Series X, so I've got a Series controller. But the Xbox One and the Series controllers, for some reason, the USB, the Bluetooth signal that I have will not pick it up. It just doesn't recognize them. So I bought one of those dongles to work, and it works awesome. But for some reason, the USB port at the front of my computer, I don't know. I guess it turns off when I turn off the computer or whatever. But like, it doesn't actually send a signal until I unplug it and plug it back in. And I always forget to do that. But yeah, I don't understand why it does that. I had to plug it into something different, but it was doing it on that port too, so I gotta figure something out to get it to work. Not enough ports. I need more ports. I need like 50 ports. But yeah, I ended up getting it because I have the TV here, and now I have it hooked up. The cable isn't long enough. The HDMI cable is just slightly too short, but I've got it hooked up to the TV. But it was a pain in the butt trying to have like a giant USB-C cable all the way over to the couch, and I actually ended up breaking this controller. The controller itself isn't broken. The USB-C port is. I don't know if you all remember, us older gamers probably remember, but like, you would buy the second player controller and it was always like the Mad Catz garbage controller. And at least in my experience, about like 3 days after getting it and using it, the cable would fray inside, and so you'd have to like take the cable and wrap it around the controller so it would have some tension and then it would work. So this is doing the same thing now, and this is a legit Xbox controller. When I plug in the USB-C, I have to like move it to a very, very specific spot for it to work, but then if it moves even like a millimeter in any direction, it disconnects. That's why I got the dongle, because I couldn't have it plugged in anymore because the stupid cable port thing got wrecked, which makes me really sad. But I do like it being wireless, because now I can sit on the couch, I can sit here, and I can just kind of do whatever I want with it, and then just one push of a button and it's back on my Xbox, so it's not too bad. Merle, hello, no worries, lurk away. You feel free to lurk away. I'm feeling kind of groggy, so even though I'm talking a lot right now, I might have a bit of a quiet day. We'll see. Okay, so, guess we'll check out Limgrave. Where is these wisps pointing me to? Because apparently it points to the next area, right? So let's see where they're pointing me to. I mean, this is just like a dead end. I fall down and die, so that's... No, it continues. It's pointing... I'm kind of confused. I am kind of confused. Let's see. I do really like that there's a day-night cycle in this game. Do I have... how much? I have 0 runes because I died, yeah. Okay. I'm guessing they continue to point to the same spots even after I've beaten whatever I need to beat. Like, okay, so I started here. Okay, you know what? Let's go over here. Let's follow this path. Let's follow this path. Nikki, I'm good. How are you feeling? Have you finally gotten past being sick, or are you still feeling kind of sick? Okay, so how do I get up there? There's got to be a path here somewhere. Good, Nikki. I'm glad you're feeling good now. I'm glad you're feeling good now. Being sick, like, I mean, I know nobody likes getting sick, but like, it's just such a bummer when you feel sick. Oh, these are the ones that I fought before and they killed me. That's why I didn't get past this area. Let's keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yeah, it's always such a bummer feeling sick. Hey, Nikki, 32 months. We're almost at 3 years here on Twitch, Nikki. Almost at 3 years. Holy crud, that's insane. I can't believe that. Three years, and that's just Twitch. That's not even like all the YouTube times we've spent together. Ow. Ow, again. Three years. Time goes by fast, doesn't it? Ow. Ow. Yes, we did it. I risked it and it was worth it. I risked it and it was worth it. I thought he was going to hit me and kill me, but no. We're good. Ash of War, barricade shield. I still... Ooh, we got a flail. Cool. I still don't really know how to use those things. What I just unlocked there, those like different attacks. I guess when you do the left trigger, it does a different attack. I still don't really understand how I'm supposed to use that, so that's always exciting. It does, Nikki. It does. Like, it feels like yesterday that I started streaming for the first time. It's weird. It feels like yesterday, but it also feels like I've been doing it forever. Like, I don't remember my life before streaming. I don't remember not knowing... Like, how can I explain it? When I think about streaming before I ever streamed, I remember thinking it was like the dumbest idea ever. Whoa! I remember thinking it was the dumbest idea ever. So I do remember that part. But I don't remember my life not having streaming as, like... a goal, or like I don't remember not being a content creator. You know what I mean? Like that I have people that actually watch something because of me, not just because like I happen to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Like when I did like plays and acting and stuff, it's like people would be excited to go watch the play or the musical I was in or whatever, but not because of me specifically. They were interested in the play itself. And so like it's really it's hard to remember that how my life was before people watched something for me. Oh. No, move. I'm gonna die. Oh god. Okay. But yeah, it's really weird when I think about it, because it's only really been a few years, but I've been doing this a really long time. Or like I'll see somebody make like a tip video about Twitches, about streams, going like, you know, here's a tip. I've been streaming for 2 whole years, and like they have this energy of like, I've been doing it for so long, for 2 years, and I'm going like, I'm at almost 7 years now. So like, I can't believe I've been on for that long. It's a weird feeling. It's a really weird feeling. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling to feel like a veteran, that's for sure. But still weird. I still don't have enough to level up. Wait, but I should have some golden runes, so let me use those. Oh, I have a lot of golden runes, nice. Maybe I can get 1 or 2 levels. I am so groggy, I could fall asleep right now. I'm actually having a hard time concentrating right now. That should be able to give me at least 2 levels. Maybe we can get a third. Maybe we can even get a 4th level out of this. Let's see. Let's see. I can't believe I forgot. Well, it's not. I can believe it because I get distracted. I just haven't been paying attention to leveling up, really. I've been talking too much and spending most of my time trying to figure out where to go, so it's easy for me to forget. So, what? Oh, no, okay. Okay, do you notice, for Twitch, it's over here, right next to me here, but for TikTok, it's right around here. Do you notice how the numbers go red? Like, it says level 33, then it says runes held, and then it goes red? Every time I see the red, I instantly think I can no longer level up. But that's not what it means. Some of the overlay stuff, it feels like they went backwards. Or the user interface stuff, it feels like they've gone backwards. It's a little bit harder to understand than it was in the other games. At least to me, it feels that way. Okay, so I got vigor. I guess I'll do... Oh, that's all I can do. Okay. Yeah, that should be okay. Giving myself a little bit of health and a bit more strength, so that should help. Hi, Wee-Win. How are you? How have you been? Handsome man. I'm tired today. My eyes are all swollen. I'm feeling sleepy. I was saying this earlier. I actually started on time today. I was on time for the first... I was actually early. I was like about 10 minutes early. But I went to bed really, really early. For me, there was some stuff at work, so I ended up having to like switch some of my shifts around, but I worked during the day yesterday and during the night. But I was able to go to bed at like 2:45 in the morning. But I was up at 8 o'clock. 8:45. So I slept about 6 hours, but I'm feeling like the week has caught up to me just because that's what it is. The whole time, sorry, I'm being distracted. The whole time I've been talking about being tired, I was like, but why? Like, I slept about 6 hours. Like, that's not bad. I shouldn't feel as tired as I am. I feel like I haven't slept. I forgot to take my medication yesterday. I didn't take my meds yesterday. I had to take my car to go get its maintenance done. You know, it's a used car, but I bought it and got the extended warranty on it, and I have to do the maintenance on the car because it's got its warranty. I took it in yesterday, and I had my doctor's appointment because I had a heart monitor put on. I had to go return the heart monitor yesterday, and I had to work because the place that I was supposed to do overnight, they had the power cut during the night, so I couldn't work, so I had to do it during the day. So I went during the day. I went to the doctor's, then I went and did work, then I went and did the oil change. So I was out all day yesterday, and then I went to work in the evening because Alana slept. So I got up at about, so I went to bed at about, I'm gonna say, sorry for the S's. I went to bed at around 4:30 the night before yesterday, and then I was up at around 8 to get ready and go do all the stuff that I had to do. So I was running on like 3.5 hours of sleep, and then I was out all day, and then I worked all night. But because I was out all day, I didn't remember my meds, and I didn't remember until my normal time, which is like, I usually take it around 1:30, because I usually sleep. But because I was out since early, I didn't have my meds on me. So the alert came in and I didn't have them on me. And then by the time I got home, you know, after getting everything done with the car, it was almost 6 o'clock. It was like 5:30. By then it's too late to take them, because had I taken them at like 5:30, they're a 14-hour release medication. So I would have been up all night. And then I would have been exhausted for today. So I didn't take them yesterday. But I have a really weird effect. Most people, when they go off these medications, that they're a controlled substance. So when you go off of them, they tend to go through like withdrawal symptoms when they're not on them. I'm okay. I'm tired when I'm not on them. But the next day that I take them, I am a zombie. And that's what's happening right now. The effect is almost doubled. And I feel incredibly tired. But my brain is like, go, go, go. But my body's like, no, no, no. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's why I feel so weird. I was like, I don't know why I'm so tired. I shouldn't be this tired. My brain is wide awake. And I was even laying in bed because I woke up at like 8:45. And I was like, it's too early to get up. I still have a couple of hours before I have to start getting ready for the stream. And I laid there just wide awake, not being able to sleep. My eyes were closed. I couldn't keep my eyes open, but my brain was wide awake. And I ended up like turning on my tablet and just laying there with my eyes closed listening to American Dad. But that's why, because I missed the meds yesterday. Today they're hitting me really hard. That's what happened. Yeah, we win. I mean, obviously, yeah. I'm obviously tired. It was a really long day, a long couple of days. But the medication is what really is messing with me right now. I took my meds right before starting the stream. With the whole idea of, you know, they're going to help me kind of be more alert for the stream. But it hasn't helped. And I forgot that it just makes things worse. So it's just going to be a really, really long, tiring day today. But it's okay. Tomorrow I'll feel perfectly fine, which is nice. Then I can get on to working on some TikTok videos and... Whoa, 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 whoa! And then hopefully be back on track. Tomorrow's my day off, so I'm going to try to work on some TikToks. Do maybe a couple of... I'm going to work on one long-form video to post on TikTok and YouTube. And then... do all like my responsibility stuff, like do my laundry and stuff, so that way Thursday for the stream I don't have to do anything all day and I can have full energy for the stream. What the heck is this? I'm gonna try, when it's hard. It's hard. I don't have a lot of time, and so like my free time, I don't have a chance to really not do anything. Because one of my days is spent doing all my laundry, and it usually takes most of the day. And then I gotta pick up Nora, and then it's usually the day that I sit down to like write my scripts, record some TikTok stuff, and try to get ahead of that. So there goes all of Wednesday. Then Thursday, I still have to grab Nora. I do the stream, and I try to relax a little bit, but like Thursday is the day that I'm fully able to sleep, so I don't get up till about 1:30. I pick Nora up at 2:30, so I literally get out, take a shower, get ready, and then grab Nora, and then I'm with Nora all evening. And then it's stream time. So like I don't fully get to like just chill out on my days off, which kind of sucks. But I do my best to try to keep that going. Come summertime, we'll see what happens once I can like move my schedule around. Right now, what's messing with me is having to pick up Nora. Only because if I didn't have to pick her up, I could start the stream slightly later. Like I would probably start streaming closer to like 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock. That way I could sleep in, I can get up, get dressed, have breakfast, relax for a bit, and kind of build my speed up to get ready for the stream. Whereas right now, it's like I get up and it's rush, rush, rush until I can sit in front of the computer. But because I like jump out of bed and get ready and do everything, when I finally sit down, I have that moment of like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm not ready for this. And then that's the time I have to be awake and be alert. So it kind of throws my day off. But come summertime, it might be a little bit easier when I can like take more of my time to do the streams. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't know. It's a pumpkin head. We win. You weren't here just a second. Like honestly, like a minute before you showed up. I beat another one of those Ghost Rider guys. You know, the Dark Horseman guys. And he dropped one of these. How am I supposed to actually use this? Like, how does this get activated? Or like, if I activate it, does it erase the one that's on my weapon? Or like, how does that even work? Oh man, oh, their faces are really awkward. Oh, that's nightmare material. Oh, okay, we win. Okay. Is it a one-time use? Like once I put it into the weapon, it's forged and that's it. I can't do it anymore? Or is it one of those like, kind of like a ring? I can put it on the weapon, I can switch it to a different weapon if I get a different weapon down the road. It can't be changed. Okay. Ouch. Come here. Ow. Ow. Oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh, okay, we win. Okay. I watched the video from Nintendo today. 10-minute gameplay of Tears. Okay, I haven't watched. Hello, Fire Plays COD 37. What's my credit card information? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 XXB. Up up down down left right BA start. My PIN number is 123 Fake Street. Now don't use it. Just to deposit the millions of dollars you inherited. Okay, so I didn't watch it, not because I didn't want to. I just didn't know about it. Like, I wasn't paying attention that it was going to happen. And then I woke up today to the alerts saying, like, my reaction to Tears of the Kingdom, my reaction to what I think of Tears of the Kingdom now. I need to watch it. I need to watch it because I think, one, with Zelda games, I'm not as concerned about the story getting ruined because they've never been the kind to really ruin the stories, and like finding out who the characters are doesn't really wreck anything. It's not like one of these games where the boss fight is kind of what the whole point of the surprise is. And if Breath of the Wild was any indication of how this game's going to be as far as story goes, it's not going to be spoiled by a few clips. I need to watch it. I want to watch it because I am definitely interested in the game. I'm not like as hyped as everybody else is. Mainly because I haven't really been doing a lot of Nintendo stuff lately. Like, even on my free time, I haven't really been playing Nintendo games. But I'm definitely excited for it. I really, really hope that it lives up to the hype. I'm hoping that it's better than Breath of the Wild was. And Breath of the Wild was great, so I'm hoping that this is even better. Now, I know this isn't the shared opinion, but in my opinion, I'm hoping that this is how, like, Majora's Mask was to Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time I thought was great. Majora's Mask I thought was even better. I'm hoping that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the same way. I cannot wait. You need to upgrade your PC? Yes, we win. This person, Fireplace COD, is asking for credit card information. Give it to them, and you'll be rich forever. Faded, right? Thank you. Thank you for confirming that it's been deposited. We're rich. We are rich. Yeah, I loved Breath of the Wild too. This was my biggest like complaint about Super Mario Odyssey, that almost nobody tended to agree with me. People used to get, when Mario Odyssey was brand new, people got really mad at me for having this opinion of like the moons, because the whole point of Mario Odyssey is to collect those moons, right? And my biggest complaint was the moons felt so random and like without any real goal. I hated that. And everybody's defense was always, well, Tears of the Kingdom does that with the Korok seeds. But you don't have to collect the Korok seeds. You could literally play the game without collecting any Koroks and you're fine. They're a nice side piece. Whereas like Mario Odyssey, that's what the whole game was. Just imagine if Zelda got rid of all the story elements and just said, here, collect the Korok seeds, and that's it. It would really suck. And so that was my biggest complaint about Mario Odyssey. But I felt that Breath of the Wild did that right. They gave you the option to spend mindless hours collecting those things, but they also gave you like a storyline and you could just skip it all and go right to the boss fight. Like it gave you a lot of freedom in all the right ways. I liked Breath of the Wild a lot. I thought Breath of the Wild was awesome. Yeah, and that's the other thing, Chadley, is that you actually got a tangible reward for it, right? Like, I am not a fan of like just getting like a platinum thing. You'll just be happy with 1,700 euros. I'll be happy with like about 800 Canadian dollars, actually. Now that Wewin's pointed out an actual number, I'd be happy with about 800 Canadian dollars. That'll pay for a PSVR. I'll be happy with that. I'll be okay with that. That's okay with me. A PSVR 2? I'll take one of those. Anyways, I'm not a fan of like getting just like a platinum award type thing, or like you unlocked this skin. That's fine, but I want something that I can like tangibly use in the game. And I did like that about the Koroks, is like you got a storage slot for collecting enough of them. You know, and then you could actually like upgrade your storage to an insanely large amount based on how many Koroks you were finding. Like, to me, that's something that actually made it worthwhile. Whereas like I've been playing, I haven't done it in a few weeks now, but I've been playing Days Gone. Not everybody's favorite game. A lot of people dislike the game. I love zombies, so I look past the problems with the game, and I'm enjoying the zombie killing action. But like, you'll meet certain people and it has almost the opposite effect. You can get skins for your motorcycle, which is like, that's cool. You know, you can make your motorcycle look kind of different, but they just give them to you just for like talking to somebody. You didn't actually do anything to earn it. So that part's kind of like, oh, okay. Mind you, the skins are kind of pointless, because if you switch the skins around, it can change the look of how your bike looks. But sometimes like, you like how your bike looks, and the skins they offer you are really stupid. So like, that kind of sucks. But I felt like Breath of the Wild did a really good job at giving you an incentive to do side stuff like that. I still wish they would have done a little bit more of the old-fashioned, you know, get to this place, unlock a weapon, and now you can use this weapon to unlock the next area. But that's more like, I'm just part of that generation that played those Zelda games. I'm a little bit too young to have played the OG Zelda on the NES, and even the SNES one I didn't ever play. I think I rented it once and I hated it and returned it. Not because I thought the game was bad. It was just because when I rented it, I was expecting a platformer style game, and then it was Zelda. And because I just didn't get what it was, I didn't like it. But like, I missed out on that experience of open story. So I'm more connected to like the N64 and on, where there was a very, very linear style gameplay included. So I missed that in Breath of the Wild. But I thought Breath of the Wild was a really good game. I really liked it. I'm tempted to go back and play it again. So you quit again. Oh no, really? Oh, okay, but I can teleport back, right? I can just go right here. So if I go here, what other side? Get myself prepped? Yeah, I'm gonna watch the footage, and then I'm probably gonna go back and play it again. I've been kind of looking for something to play when I'm not streaming. I've been doing a lot of Minecraft. Oh crap. Oh, I guess I gotta walk through it again. I've been doing a lot of Minecraft. But if Korok seeds were mandatory, I think I'd have an aneurysm. Yeah, Patty, exactly. And that was my problem with Super Mario Odyssey. I thought the platforming was phenomenal in that game. I was split when it came to the graphics. I thought they were really impressive for the Switch. You know, it was one of the more pretty looking games out there. But I wasn't a huge fan of the realism mixed in with the cartooniness. Do you know what I mean? Like having NPCs that were just regular humans, and then Mario goes to like their hips. I couldn't mesh with that too well. But that was more like I wasn't gonna say flavor, but like that's just like a stylistic thing. I'm not a fan of that stylistic choice. Not a criticism that it was a bad choice. It was just not my type of choice. If it was gonna go real, go fully real, or if it's gonna go cartoon, stick with the cartoon. But I thought the mechanics were phenomenal in that game. I thought the overall idea was cool, but I hated that it felt like Korok's, where it was like, just, you know, you have to collect 12 moons to get past this level, but the moons were just in like random spots. And like to the point where like there was certain moons that is literally just stomp on a random piece of the level and you're gonna get a moon for it. It didn't feel like Mario 64. I know I'm old and I'm aging myself by saying that, but it didn't feel like Mario 64 where there was like a goal to each star, where it's like, you go to this star, you have to beat the turtle to the top of the hill. Go to this star, you're gonna have to defeat the boss. So like it gave you a goal and you felt like you achieved something at the end, whereas like the moons just felt like you were collecting Koroks, where it's like, oh, you collected this like random thing that's hidden here. But I never felt like I was actually achieving something. And again, back to Breath of the Wild, it felt like that was the intention with Breath of the Wild. It was like, no, this is just a little side thing that you can like coincidentally find while you're exploring the world. And it just feels like, oh, look, you found this thing. Hey, look, you collected enough that you can get this. Now, if you're really crazy, you can go and collect all of them if you want, and you'll get something for it. Whereas like Mario Odyssey was just like, you have no choice but to collect all of these. Good luck. And I hated that. Like by the end of Mario Odyssey, I was miserable, which is really rare for me because I like Mario games a lot. And by the end of Odyssey, I was just like, I'm not having fun. It feels like I'm waiting for the game to actually give me something to do. You know, like when you're playing those open world games, something, I don't know if, Grand Theft Auto kind of does it, but like Dying Light did it, where like you do story missions, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where it's like, now just help the people around the village until we need you again. And then you just do a bunch of side missions till the main story opens up again. I felt like that was doing that with all of Mario Odyssey, where it was just like, collect these moons until we give you something to do. And then the game ended, and I was just kind of like, oh, what a really missed opportunity. Like, it just didn't feel like a game to me. Whereas like the Koroks, it felt like an option. And when I did find them randomly, I felt really proud of myself. I was like, hey, I found this thing. Whereas like with the moons, it was the opposite feeling. It was literally, oh my God, this is what you want me to do? Just stomp on this random piece of land here? Or like just bounce off this wall, do these wall jumps, and then all of a sudden I get a moon? Like, it just didn't feel right to me. I hated that. But I thought Breath of the Wild did a really good job at balancing that out. Yeah, Chadley, exactly. Because, yeah, Mario Sunshine did a better job with, like, you were unlocking the levels as you collected more. But, yeah, they went overboard with it. It still felt like it was really aimless. Sunshine had its own problems as well, but I like Sunshine. But I also know that that's me having bad taste in a Mario game. Because I know that there are definitely issues with the game, and there are parts that drag, and there's some stuff that's kind of like, I liked Sunshine. I definitely prefer Sunshine to Odyssey. Odyssey I thought was a really good nugget. It just they didn't polish it enough to make it like a gem. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just missed the mark for me, and I didn't understand the hype. I still don't understand why people were so hyped about it. It's an okay game. It's better than a lot of games out there, but it just, as far as Mario 3D games go, that's probably the worst one of the lot to me. In almost every way except for graphically. And the actual like mechanics of Mario. I thought Mario controlled the best in that game out of all the games, but yeah, it missed the mark for me. It really missed the mark for me. But I'm really, really excited. Yeah, for I can't remember what it's called. Tears of the Kingdom. Are they still using the old map and they're just going to kind of add on to it and make it bigger and add new sections you can now access with obviously new powers or whatever? That's cool. Arc of the saving thing, yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. Jesse James, hello. I've been playing Elden Ring for a few weeks now. Actually, quite a while now. Oh god, this must be like stream 10 or something. And I've still only beaten 2 bosses. One optional boss and one actual boss. And then the rest of it's just me wandering around. So don't use me as a way to teach you what to do. Ever. Oh, that's gonna be so cool, Chadley. Yeah, I'm excited. I have to look this up. I like to go in completely blind, but I do want to look this one up. Because it's been a really long time since we've gotten a Zelda. A really long time. And it's been a really long time since there's been a Nintendo game that I've been like fully hyped for. Like I was excited for I don't remember what it's called. Oh my gosh. Xenoblade Chronicles. I was really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but like the excitement only lasted like a week or two, and then I completely forgot about it, and then I didn't even realize it got released. I've never cared for Splatoon, so whatever. I've never cared for Smash, not that there's been any new Smash. I love Mario Kart, and I'm tempted to pay for the DLC to get Mario Kart with all the new tracks and stuff, but I don't play it on stream. I don't have friends I play with. And after I beat the levels, I'll never touch it again. I haven't touched Mario Kart since I last streamed it, which was years ago now. But like, I haven't been hyped for a Nintendo game in a while, like really hyped. This is the first one in quite a few years that I've been really excited for. So yeah, I need to look up some stuff to see what I think, because I feel like I'm going to like it. I haven't even faced the dragon yet, Jesse. I've had a few people tell me to fight the dragon, but I keep getting scared, so I don't. And you get new enemies. Nice. But Ark, yes, I did hate the saving thing. How are you doing, Ark, by the way? I hope you're doing okay. I hated the saving on Sunshine. Yeah, every time you touch something, it's like, do you want to save? It's like, after the first time, don't tell me every time. Just like kind of remember my options and just do that automatically. And yeah, it felt kind of aimless. There's a point in the game when you get really close to the end. You know, like when you've got like 10 shines left or so, maybe 20 shines left, where you start feeling like, I don't know where to get the shines that I need. That happened to be the last time I played it on stream. And I think I beat it on stream, but the last time I played it on stream, that happened to me. I got to the point where I was like, I don't know where to go, guys. I've done everything. I don't want to have to collect all the coins or whatever in the level. Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going to get the rest of these. So yeah, it definitely does feel aimless for sure. I know some people really hated Flood. I actually really like Flood. I thought Flood was a really cool mechanic to add to the game. I kind of wish they would do another Mario Sunshine-esque game. I also wish that they would do another Super Mario World style game. They've done enough of the new Super Mario Bros. Give me a Super Mario World. I would love an updated Super Mario World. Use that like 16-bit art style. And like, to me, that was my favorite look for Mario. That was my all-time favorite look for Mario. I wish they would bring that back 100%. It's okay, Chadley. I actually pay for the family plan, but I've only got the basic. I don't have like the upgraded one. When we bought Nora her Switch, because originally Steffi had me on hers. She had allowed me to use hers, and I was on it, but I hadn't been really using my Switch. And then we bought Nora a Switch with Minecraft, and she wanted to play with us, but she couldn't without her having the online thing, so I paid for it, but I only pay for the basic. I'll probably buy the tracks down the line. I've heard, not rumors, I've heard predictions that some like Nintendo channels have made, where they think this is probably going to be like the last hurrah for Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And either when they announce the new Switch, because they have to announce something new in the relatively near future, relative as in like within the next year or two, they have to have something. That they predict that it's either going to be they're going to re-release Super Mario 8 Deluxe with everything included, all the DLC, all the tracks, all the extra characters, all that stuff, or they're going to announce Super Mario 9, Super Mario Kart 9. I'm hoping it's a 9. I like 8. I think it's got great variety. Or they'll do like an 8 Deluxe with everything plus a new set of tracks only for the new system or whatever. So like part of me is like, I want to hold out to see what happens with that. But yeah, it could still be another year and a half before we even hear about a new system that's going to be coming out in the future. So don't drop right to the Grace, but go left. Okay, Weeman, I will. Rye Bread, how you doing? Welcome. This is literally why I had to go back, because I went the wrong way. I'm gonna go that way this time. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. This isn't good. This isn't good. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, let's get rid of these guys somehow. Do not die. Do not die. Okay. We're good. We're good. Whew. Yeah, that's true, Chadley. That's true. We'll see what happens. So that... no, wait. This is where I came from, right? That's where I came from. Right? So instead of to the Grace, drop to the left. So this way, over here, that place. Right? Okay. Hi, Tara. How you doing? How's school? Oh, Ark, don't even. Do you know how mind-blowing it would be to have VR support for Nintendo games? Imagine Metroid, something like Metroid Prime in full VR. How crazy that would be. I'm a huge advocate of VR. I've been talking about VR a lot on the channel lately. Mainly because I've been playing a lot of VR, but I'm also waiting for the PlayStation VR 2. I'm supposed to be getting like a really small inheritance, and I'm going to pay off a lot of bills. But I'm going to be a little irresponsible, a lot irresponsible, and I'm going to end up getting the PSVR 2. mainly because I want like the HDR feature for when I'm playing like on big screen mode. My brother also doesn't have any VR systems and he's getting one, and so I want to get that so we can actually play games together, because I've got a Quest, but nobody to play Quest games with. And I'm because I struggle with socializing so much, I don't really add anybody to the Quest, so like I can't play with my brother, and he's pretty much the only person to play with, and he's getting a PSVR, so I want to get one. Anyways, I've been on like this huge thing about VR lately. I was so excited when I got the... Okay, he's safe. Give me a second. I'm not done. Give me a second. Give me a second. I actually bought the Labo VR thing. Like, I'm such a fan of VR. I bought the Labo VR thing. I bought it mainly because at the time, it was when my channel was really doing, you know, it was starting to gain momentum. Yeah, it was starting to gain momentum. And so I bought it with the idea of making a video on it and like maybe doing a stream where I was building it, whatever. But when I had mentioned it a few times, nobody really seemed interested. So I did it on my own. But I bought this, and I mainly bought this for like, I bought the Labo thing mainly for the VR. And I tried Breath of the Wild in VR. It was really cool. I don't mind third-person VR games like Moss. Yeah, Moss. Moss, I think is what it's called. There's another one called Chronos, which came out for the Oculus PC VR. It's like Dark Souls in VR, so it almost looks like a little diorama in front of you and your little characters on there. I don't mind stuff like that. And Breath of the Wild had the VR support where like the camera was you and it was in VR. The downside was there's no strap on this, there's no cushioning on this, so it's really uncomfortable to wear. And so like slipping my Switch into here added some weight, and I couldn't, like, I'd have to physically hold it, or I would have to lay down on the couch and like put my put the whole weight of the Switch on my face with this thin cardboard. So it was really uncomfortable to play long term, so I only did it a few times. If they would add something like that where like I could hook up my Quest to my Switch so I could play those games, oh, I love it. I love it. Did you have a Quest 1 or a Quest 2 arc? It was the chair stream. The chair is the real star of the show. Although this isn't the star. This is the stunt double. The star's in the other room. The nicer chair. This one's the cheaper, not so nice chair. I bought this chair for Canadians at Canada Computers, which is kind of like Micro Center in our area. And I bought the extended warranty specifically for the stupid piston for when you sit on it and sometimes the piston drops. Literally within a week of getting this chair, the piston started to drop. I just haven't bothered taking it because I have a small Honda Civic and this chair doesn't fit in the Honda Civic, so I'd have to take it apart to take it to them to get them to replace the piston. Very disappointed. But I've got the other chair over there. That one's a little bit more comfortable. I should probably bring it over here. Oh, okay. Did you sell it just because you needed the money or just because you weren't really into it and weren't using it? Yeah, Nikki, Mario Kart 8 is really old. Preston, how's it going, man? How are you? Also, I meant to text you, but by the time I looked at it, I was at work when you were texting me. By the time I looked at it, it was like 3 in the morning, and then I just never answered because my brain sucks. I agree with I believe it is definitely like one note, but I disagree because it goes, I believe, that goes down for like a sentence, okay? So... But yes, I believe is definitely like on the same note the whole time. Oh, and then it jumps up to like, I believe. So it goes up a little bit too, okay? So don't sell the song short. Sorry, Preston and I were talking about songs that I've been working on. And I mentioned the one song and he was talking about how it's exhausting because it's like the same note all the time. Yeah, nobody to play with. I got the Quest, not the Quest, I got the Rift S. For my birthday, actually. Mr. FOV bought it for me. That was like the most mind-blowing thing ever. And for anybody who's a big supporter of the channel, Mr. FOB set the bar real high because he bought me a VR system, all right? So I'm open to VR too. No, I'm kidding. But he bought me a Rift S, and I played it, and then I stopped playing it. I played it for a while, then I completely stopped playing it, only because he bought it for me when it was still relatively new. It was really hard to get. Nobody could get their hands on it because of how popular it was at the beginning. And there was a very small amount of games to play. And so I played it, and that was great. And then I kind of stopped using it. Then I moved here, and I started playing it again. And the one controller started to drift really badly, like really badly. And then all of a sudden on the other controller, the LED strip around the edge died. I dropped it or something fell on it. I can't remember what it was. But the LED strip around the edge died, which is like the little lights that tell the headset where the controllers are. So the one controller, the joystick works perfectly fine, but it's just floating in space. It'll rotate and stuff because it has the gyroscope, but it can't tell where it is in relation to the headset. The other one, it can tell where it's in relation to the headset, but the joystick doesn't work. So both controllers are useless. And because it's old, you can't replace them anymore without buying just another used headset. And I didn't want to buy a used headset because there's a lot of reports of drift on those controllers. And I wasn't going to spend $300 on a used headset just to get two controllers when I could just spend $400 on the Quest. I'm in Canada, so it was like $400 then. So I bought the Quest eventually. I was still kind of iffy about getting the Quest because the Rift, I was like, it was love-hate. I would play it for a while, then I wouldn't play it, then I'd play it, then I wouldn't play it. And then I bought the Quest. I easily have put in over 300 hours on that thing now. Like, I have played an insane amount of hours on my Quest. I've upgraded my Quest to make it like super comfortable. I ended up buying like over-the-ear headphones that clip onto the system. I bought a brand new facial thing that's made of leather to make it nice and soft on my face. I've got a new headband put on it. Like, I've done everything. I even put like a battery pack on the back to balance out the weight. And now with the battery pack, I can get like 10 hours of gameplay out of that thing. I have like beaten the crap out of this Quest with how much I've played it, which is why I'm excited for the PSVR 2. But yeah, at first I was kind of hit and miss. Now that there are more games that you can play by yourself, I've put in a bunch of hours, but I've now beaten all the games I can play by myself. And so I'm now in the process of waiting for my brother to get his PSVR 2 and me to get mine, and then to play a few games together that way. But I'm a huge fan of VR, like insanely huge fan. Bye, Tara. Thank you for popping in. Have a good day. The only thing I really played was Beat Saber. Yeah, so when I started this whole journey, sorry, I haven't been playing, I've been talking. For those who don't know, I've lost, actually, as of the day before yesterday, obviously your weight fluctuates. It goes up and down every day depending on what you ate the night before, whether you've gone to the bathroom or not, whether you're dressed or not. I try to weigh myself at the same time every day, completely as the Lord put me on earth, with nothing on, just so I can get an accurate weight. At my heaviest, I was 224. Last week, I was down to 284, so I had officially lost 40 pounds. 2 days ago, I was down to 282. It is the lightest I have been in, like, pretty much since I started streaming. When I first started streaming, when I first started to do the retro videos with my brother, I think I weighed like 178. So that this is the lightest I have been in years. Anyways, what I'm getting at is when I started this journey, I mainly started it because I was having so many heart issues and the doctor was like highly concerned for me. And then he thought I may have had a heart attack. So I started to make some changes, mainly because whether or not I had had a heart attack, just the risk of it happening was too scary. So I cut back on a lot of soda. I was only drinking soda. I cut back on the soda. I've gotten back to eating a lot of fast food. I need to cut that out again. But like, I really cut back on fast food, and work is a lot more physical now, which is how I've lost all that weight. Where I'm going with this is when I started the journey, I actually started with Beat Saber. I got Beat Saber, and there's another workout app that I got that was like a punching one. And that one was really good, but I was having a lot of shoulder issues, so I kind of walked away from it lately. Now I'm feeling better with my shoulders, so I'm probably going to get back into it. But I was doing a lot of Beat Saber, and that's what happened to me. Once I beat the game and I played the same songs over and over again, I lost interest. I was like, okay, yeah, it's like the same like 5-6 songs that I really like, and the other ones I'm not a big fan of. And then eventually I lost interest in it, so I stopped playing Beat Saber, like huge. But it is, it's really fun. And if you can get like custom made songs, like if you play it on PC, you can get a bunch of custom made songs put on, and it's awesome. Easy Money Broods, hello, how you doing? Thanks. Yeah, it was how can I explain it? Because like I don't want people to think that I was like, oh, I'm so fat I need to lose weight, because it wasn't that. And I didn't start changing my life because I wanted to lose the weight. I started changing my life because I wanted to make my heart stronger. Because I have so many heart issues, I was worried that, you know, where I am right now, it's almost guaranteed that I'm either going to die from a stroke, from Alzheimer's, or a heart attack. Like one of the three is going to kill me, guaranteed. The stroke or heart attack because of my heart issues. That is a given. The Alzheimer's is a pretty high probability because my grandmother died with it. My grandfather on my mom's side died from it. My grandfather on my dad's side died from it. On my mom's side, 2 of her uncles, one died, the other one still has it. My mom is showing early symptoms of it. And so like it's very prevalent in my family. So there's a really good chance that I'll have it. And so it's not hereditary, but it's just if it's in the family, there's a really good chance you're probably going to get it. So if that doesn't take me out, a heart attack or a stroke will. And my grandmother had it, actually. My mom's mom had it, but that's not what killed her. She died from a stroke. And she had all the same heart problems I have. Like at the age of like 25, she had to go on heart medications because her heart rate was so high, her blood pressure was so high, and I'm in the same boat. So I'm probably going to die from that. So I made the changes because I wanted to make my heart stronger and stop eating fast food so my arteries would be healthier. And, you know, I just wanted to do that. And obviously a result is losing the weight. But the only things I really did was I cut out fast food, not cut out, but like I reduced the amount of fast food. I cut out a lot of soda, and I walked a lot. Gina, thank you. 31 months. Holy jeez. 31 months. 31 months. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Red heart grin, hello.
Hello, Gina. I hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating you okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, work was one of the big changes. I worked in healthcare for a really long time, but I did community work. So I'd go to people's houses and I would sit. I also commuted an hour to work. So that was an hour sitting in my car. I'd go to work and sit at people's houses for most of it. And then I'd end up with breaks in between, or I'd have like a really short visit. Like there were people that would have a 1 hour visit with me, but they didn't want us there because it's uncomfortable, right? Like if somebody's getting ready to pass away, they don't want you in their house the whole time. So you go, you do your job, and then they ask you to leave and you leave. So sometimes I'd be done my job in 15 minutes and my next visit wouldn't be for another hour and a half. So I would just sit in my car for an hour and a half. So it was a lot of sitting and not being physical. Now I have a job where I easily do 10,000 steps a night without even thinking about it. Plus I'm lugging a big like 500-pound machine around all night long and just being physical. So that's what's caused me to lose the weight. I've always been a very thin person. It's just my life got so in the opposite direction because I was always very active. I always did. And I wasn't like I work out all the time. I did sports. I was in musical theater. I had a band. So like I would spend all my time dancing. Not well, but I spent all my time dancing. So I was very, very thin. And then all of a sudden I went from doing a lot of physical stuff to doing nothing. So I got big. I never got like morbidly obese or anything, but you know, I was 224 pounds when my average weight used to be closer to like 135. And then even when I gained weight, I was at like 178. And I remember when I was at 178, I had a girlfriend at the time who used to tell me that I was like morbidly obese, and she didn't want to sleep with me because, and I don't mean like adult sleep, I mean like actually be asleep with me in bed because she was afraid she would wake up and I'd be dead from a heart attack because of how fat I was at 178 pounds, which is still, you know, 6 pounds lighter than what I am now. And so like I was always very thin. So when I got to 224, I felt huge. But I had also, I did let myself go because it was 224 and like zero muscle. And so I didn't look good. So I've been lucky enough that I was able to change my life enough that I've lost weight. Like if I stayed where I am now, I'd be really happy. I would obviously still like to get to a thinner weight, mainly because I want to get back into theater and stuff. And I still get tired too easily. So I would like to get a little bit thinner so I can have a bit more energy. But yeah, I'm definitely at a much better place than I was before. Big difference. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Hey, it was your birthday. Hold on. I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't done this in a really long time. Hold on. I'm out of practice. For those who are new to the channel or haven't been around for a while, I used to do this all the time. I haven't done this in a while. Gina. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, forever pretty brown eyes, Gina. Happy birthday to you. Stay wonderful. I hope you had a really good birthday. I hope you had a really, really good birthday. Yes, Nikki, my birthday is coming soon. My birthday is in about 3 weeks. I'm probably not going to do anything. I don't think I'm going to do any kind of live stream thing. If a stream falls on my birthday, I'm just going to stream because it's a stream. Long story short, things aren't very good at home, and so celebrating my birthday is something that I'm not very excited about. I didn't celebrate my birthday last year, and I'm probably not going to celebrate it this year. So don't expect anything. Don't expect any crazy like birthday bonanza stream or anything. It'll probably be, if I'm live, it'll be just a regular stream. If it's not on a stream day, then I'm just not going to do anything. I might not even make a video or anything that day. I'm just probably going to just sit at home and do nothing. But that's kind of where that stands. The Dark, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Tired, but good. Then you're gonna make a kick and celebrate for me? Okay, Nick, yeah, I appreciate that. You guys celebrate for me. But yeah, I back to what I was saying, the Beat Saber thing. Beat Saber's really fun, and it's really good for that. But yeah, I got bored of it. I got really bored of it. What saved me is I started to open up my game choices, I guess. I forced myself to start playing Minecraft. I've said this many times. I wasn't interested in Minecraft. I actually used to get, when I used to do a lot of Mario Kart and Nintendo games and stuff, I would have younger viewers, and a lot of them would ask me to play Minecraft. And I always said that I wasn't interested in it, mainly because I don't like games that don't tell you what to do. I don't like games that like are just like, here, just have fun. You know, it's never been my thing. But I forced myself to play Minecraft because we bought Minecraft for Nora. And the poor kid was so lonely and bored, so I was like, I'll play with her. I'll force myself to play it. I'll understand the mechanics, and then I'll start playing with her. And then I got obsessed, and then I started playing by myself. And then I realized I could play it in VR, because I was looking for a game to play, and then I saw Minecraft on there, and I put it on. This was before I started playing with her. And I put it on, and I was like, oh, it doesn't work unless I buy Minecraft. I'm not buying Minecraft. Then we got it for her. And so I had Game Pass, so I downloaded it, and then I started playing it in VR. And it blew my mind how much more fun the game was once I was in the world in virtual reality. Once I beat Minecraft, I remembered that Subnautica had a basic VR ability. And so I started playing that. And then I downloaded the mods to make it a much better VR experience. And I played through that whole game, and I was blown away by how much fun that was. And because I liked both of those games, which Minecraft is like survival super light, and then Subnautica is more of a regular survival game, I looked for another one, and then I got into Green Hell. And then I played Green Hell. I bought it on the Quest in order to get it on the PC as well, because if you buy one, you get both. And I played the PC version first, and I beat that. And then I went back and played the Quest version and beat that. It was just slightly different enough that it felt like a different game. And lately I've been playing The Forest, and I went back and I started Minecraft again. But that's kind of how I opened up. And now I've been playing also, I don't remember what it's called. It's a game where like a nuclear anomaly is happening, and you have to like go into the nuclear zone and like collect things and come back. I don't remember what it's called. It's an indie game. It's kind of broken, kind of jank, but it's still a survival game. I've been playing that a lot. And then I just kind of opened up and started playing a bunch of different games in VR. Played Half-Life Alyx. That was another phenomenal one. I've spent a lot of time in VR now, like an insane amount of time in VR. My biggest gripe with the Quest is that it's battery operated. I hate that you can't plug it in unless you buy like a special cable or your USB port gives enough electricity, which mine tends not to, that you can't just unlimitedly play. And I'm not the kind of person that plays VR for 20 minutes. If I'm going to play VR, I'm going to play for 4 or 5 hours. But I almost always forget to charge my Quest. And by the time I plug it in, it's at like 50% battery. I get like an hour and a half and then it dies. And it really sucks. It really, really sucks. Okay, Nikki, I appreciate that. But yeah, I saw Wewin say that the price was a bit high. Yeah, it's a bit costly, especially when there's not as much of a selection. That's kind of where I am with the PlayStation. I was telling my brother yesterday, I want to buy the PSVR 2, but I also know the Quest 3 is about to be announced. And so like part of me is like, I'd rather get the Quest 3 because at least I have my whole library of games and I would just get the better lenses and all that kind of stuff. But I also know the PSVR has like the headset rumble. It's got the OLED screens. So I know the quality is going to be higher and no battery, but there's almost no games. And so I'm like, oh, I'm kind of torn. But yeah, it's a lot of money to spend for what basically breaks down to like a few games that are worth it. And then it just kind of sits and you do nothing with it if you don't want to play those games. When you could spend that money towards like a PlayStation 5, or you could like upgrade your PC and get a nice video card or something. So it's a lot of money.
There's a face I've not seen before.
I'll show you in just a second, the Dark.
Warden of this castle, as ordained by Lord Godric himself. But you can see how things have turned out.
Sorry for going on that tangent, by the way.
They gave me good service, or so I thought. But it seems it was all an act. Foul creatures, as it said, and true enough, they're foul inside and out. I'm sorry.
Brady, what do you mean 60 seconds?
Whatever you come here to do, I'm afraid Castle Morn won't hold much longer. Take this.
60 seconds what?
By way of apology.
Sacrificial twig. I love how some video games take like the most ridiculous item and just add like sacrificial or add mystical or add of binding, and all of a sudden it's something important. Like it's literally a twig. Sacrificial twig. 60-second game. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's a lot of 60-second games on in VR for sure.
From Arena. Thank you. I mean, you're dead. But I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands.
He's got glorious hair and a glorious beard. Not a Chadley level glorious beard. If you all don't know who Chadley is, he is a live streamer and he's really chill. He does a lot of cross stitching, but he also does gaming, but like the most chilled out energy ever. But he's got like a glorious, like Viking-esque beard. It is like the coolest thing. I am so jealous because I still cannot grow a beard. You can kind of see I have like the 5 o'clock shadow thing going on. And part of the reason is me being vain. It helps define my chin a little bit, makes me look a little bit thinner. Second, it's easy to maintain because I don't have to shave every day, but I also don't have to like put oils in it and stuff once it grows out. And third, I still can't fully grow a beard, so when it's the 5 o'clock shadow, it still looks like the proper beard, but like I have like a lot of patches around here that won't grow. And my beard still doesn't connect to my mustache fully. So once it starts to fully grow in, it doesn't actually like beardly grow. I get like a lot of the neck beard, but I don't get a lot of beard up here. So I can't grow like a majestic beard like Chadley can. It makes me jealous. That's why I have the 5 o'clock shadow, because I can't do the majestic beard. I wish I could. I don't think I would look good in a majestic beard, but I wish I could. Having the option would be nice, you know? It's like the hair. Having the option is just nice. Hold on. The Dark. I still have to check the level.
Father will come for her once he's fulfilled his duty.
The Dark. I am level 34. Still pretty low in level. I keep forgetting to level up, and then I die, and then I forget to save or whatever. Or I forget to level up or I forget to go back and get my runes when I die. That's what I'm trying to say. I did. I gave him the letter. Or is there a different letter?
If you see Arena, do tell her that her father will
Yeah, I give it. No, it's okay. It's okay. I thought there was a second letter I had to give him. Okay. No, we're good. I gave it to him. It's okay, we win. I'm talking a lot, so it's easy to miss what's happening in the game because I'm not shutting up. What else is new, right? So I watched. So okay, y'all know I did theater for a long time. And I have a few recordings of some of the shows that I did, and I never really watched them. I've shown a couple of clips on stream where, like, you know, I've shown an opening number, or I've shown like a few seconds of one of my performances, but I've never sat down and really watched any of my shows. I've watched them a couple of times, but it's usually like while I'm still involved. Like, we did one show, I think it was Grease that we did it, where we did Grease, they recorded it. Then after closing night, a week later, we all went back, we all had dinner, and then they played the show for us to watch what we looked like on stage, because we're always curious about how you look on stage. But I never actually like sat down and fully watched one of my musicals in a really, really long time. And I did a couple of days ago with Nora. She's been showing a lot of interest in musicals lately, and so she's been watching some, and she's obsessed with Matilda. And but anything that has like a musical vibe to it, any TV show that like breaks into songs, she'll watch it, and she sings along and stuff, and she loves it. So I told her that we were going to watch one of my musicals because I want to introduce her to some like actual musicals, not like these cheap TV shows that just take pop songs and re-sing them. And we watched A Chorus Line. If you've never seen A Chorus Line, basically it's just a bunch of dancers who are auditioning for a show, and it's showing you what the audition process is like, and it kind of gives you an insight into what actors feel and how we kind of struggle with being actors and getting older and competing all the time, never knowing where work is coming from and all that. And she watched it. Some of it she found boring, some of it she really liked, and it was the first time I had watched myself perform in years. It was a real big reminder of why I loved being on stage so much. And it was also I'm trying to find the right word. I don't mean this like a stroke my ego way, but like I never realized how good I was. And so like now I feel even worse to know that I let it go without realizing how much I actually let go. I always knew like I kind of lost my acting talent and my singing talent because I haven't practiced it. But I never realized how much higher my level was than I thought it was. And so now it's like I feel like I'm like an idiot because I didn't realize how much I've lost. I always thought like, yeah, I lost quite a bit of talent, but like I didn't realize how much talent I lost. And now it's had the opposite effect. I don't feel bad about it. Like I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, life sucks, I let it go. I actually feel more motivated because I'm like, if I was that good before, when I was immature and scared, I don't expect I'll ever be that good again because I'm older now. My body won't be able to keep up. But I feel confident that I could be at least as good as I used to imagine myself being because I'm older and more mature and willing to do a lot more. So it almost gave me more inspiration to keep pushing, because if I was that good before, I can be pretty decent now. I'm excited to get back into it. I'm really excited. Okay, so we win. Now do I go to the right or whatever it was that I went to last time? Or was that all I was supposed to do in this castle and now I can go back and talk to the girl? I have no idea. I'm lost. Kind of sleepy again. I'm hitting the wall. Like it was this way, right? Do I go this way now? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Where do I get that? The dark? Okay, well, I'm just gonna go here because I can teleport back to the beginning again if I need to. I didn't jump. I meant to jump. Oh, God. Oh, okay. It didn't kill me. I feel like you can fall a lot further in this game than you could in other Dark Souls games. Oh, I hate these kind of monsters. I'm gonna die. Oh, God. I'm not paying attention. Okay. I don't even know where that is, the Dark. This is one thing that I struggle with, the Dark, is the maps aren't labeled. So when people name places, I never know where they're talking about. But further than that, I'm really, really bad with names. I'm very good with faces. I'm really bad with names. And so character names, I never pick up on. It's one thing Alana hated about me is that she is very good with names. She is really bad with faces. Character names. She never knows like an actor's name or anything. I know actors' names, but she never knows actors' names. But when we watch shows, she'll come back and talk to me about the characters, and I have no idea who she's talking about. It was the worst when we started watching Rings of Power. I watched Lord of the Rings when I was like 16, 17 years old in high school, and I've never watched it ever since. I never read the books. And so, you know, I knew about Lord of the Rings, I knew the plot, but I didn't remember all of the details because, you know, it's been 20 years since I last watched it. I still haven't watched Lord of the Rings since high school. But, whoa, am I dead? No, it's gonna kill me. Oh. I still haven't watched Lord of the Rings, but when we started Rings of Power, I wanted to watch the movies again, but we didn't own them. And I bought the movies for Alana. For Christmas, I bought the Hobbit trilogy. And then we went to a pawn shop and we bought the Lord of the Rings trilogy at the pawn shop. And then it turns out that it was the digital only copies. And so it was a disc that would lead you to the website to unlock it so you could download the digital versions of the movies, but they had already been downloaded, so you couldn't download them anymore. So we got ripped off, but it was only like $5, but whatever. So for her birthday, I bought her the extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies. And so I couldn't watch them because I was waiting to give it to her for her birthday. So I got the audiobooks and I listened to the audiobooks, and then I listened to like the radio play versions of the audiobooks, which is like with voice actors, sound effects, and all that kind of stuff. And so I love the story and I think it's awesome. And listening to the books, the movies were great, but the books were so much better, obviously, like always. But when we would talk about the show or the books, she would start naming characters. And I had no idea who she was talking about, especially with Lord of the Rings, where it's a lot of like really similar sounding names. And I had no idea who she was talking about. And even with like the Rings of Power, this was before I had watched the movies. She's like, do you know who? I don't even remember his name now. I don't remember his name now. It was the guy who lost the rings, whoever he is, the son of the king or whatever. And then he turns into the king and then he loses the rings. She names them and I'm like, I have no idea who these characters are. So what I'm getting at is in this game, like right now where you say the White Mask Vare or whatever, I have no idea who that is. Because I don't know character names at all. I can't even remember the stupid dudes that I beat in the game. Like Margit, the only reason I remember that name is because I want to say that a git is like either like a slur or like a slang, like rude name to call somebody. I want to say, but not here. It's from somewhere else. I want to say it's from like the UK or something. I don't know. But I think of that and then I think of Margaret. And then that gets me Market. But I don't remember character names at all. I'm bad with them. First NPC you talk to from underground. So like over here, the golden one that's sitting on the first step here. Oh, there is White Mask Vare. So once I'm here, okay, let me do this and then I'll go there. But yeah, anyways, I'm bad with character names. Really bad with character names. Doing his quest line grants the item. Okay. Please help me. I am of noble blood. If those hideous mongrels eat me, I'll be forever marred. Anything but that, please. Think of the disgrace. Am I supposed to do something? I wish I had like an arrow or something. Is it under equipment? Yeah, there it is. Come down here, you jerk. Ouch. There we go. Whew. There, I killed the thing that was up there. I killed the dude that was in here. Are you happy now? Nope. If my volume is too loud on the game, let me know. I can't see the volume bar right now. I have my window shrunk and all I can see is the capture card's volume, which is muted, so I can't actually see what the volume is. Okay, that leads me somewhere. Do I want to go there yet? Let's see what's up here and then we'll go there, I guess. Uh-oh. These are probably the monsters that make me feel the most uncomfortable out of anything we've faced in any Soulsborne game. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, Nikki, perfect. It's always hard to tell. I've noticed the last few streams my game volume has been just a little bit too quiet, which is fine. It's better to have your volume be a little bit too quiet versus it being too loud. Because I personally hate when I go to a stream and all I can hear is the game and I can't hear the person. But I also hate those streams where the volume is almost inaudible, like when they're playing and it's like this. So like if I go to hit, you might be able to hear that. I can hear it in my headphones. But I find that usually those are the people that don't have monitors turned on, so then they want to be able to hear themselves through their headphones, so they have the volume turned down pretty low so they can hear themselves while still hearing the game somewhat, but then they forget that the stream can't hear anything. Oh, cool. So I'm not a fan of that. I really don't like when streamers do that. Because, like, I do want to talk to the streamer and you watch a stream for the streamer, but, like, I would like to hear a little bit of the game. You know, explosions or sword slashes and stuff. I'm a fan of that. The other one that I don't get, and I know this one's completely just based on taste, is the people who only play music while they're streaming. You don't hear the gameplay at all, it's just music. And them talking, and there's gameplay, but it's just them talking. I've never understood that. Because, like, a lot of the time they're playing a game that's, like, super action-packed and the music's, like, super chill. Or the game is super chill, but the music is, like, super high impact, and it's, like, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a cohesive stream to me. I hate it. I'm not a fan of those. I've never understood it. TN, welcome. Thank you for the advice. I will tell you now, I suck at dodge timing. You'll probably pull your hair out in frustration because For some reason, I just cannot learn the timing. When I fought Margit, I got hit almost every time because I just couldn't grasp the fact that there was a delay between them swinging and them actually attacking. And so I would dodge and then they would hit me because the attack would just be slow enough that my dodge would be finished by the time they hit me. Because I'm terrible at dodging. Yeah, and I'm 37, but I've also been playing Soulsborne games on stream at least once a week since I started 7 years ago. So that just goes to show you how my brain just doesn't get it. Because you would think after playing it once a week for 7 years, and like not like right now I stream for like an hour or two, but back then I was streaming for like 4 hours at a time. So we're talking at least 4 hours a week that I did this for 7 years. I still can't learn dodging very well. Bloodborne is a bloodbath for me because I just cannot get dodging under my belt. For some reason, it just doesn't stick. It just does not stick in my brain, and I don't know why. I'm just, I'm the kind of player that deals with brute force. I don't know if you've been following me for any amount of time, or you just kind of found me as like a suggested live stream that popped up on your For You page. But if you have been following me for a while, I just posted a video about Dark Souls 2. Ginger Gamer and TN, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you. Suggested. Okay, so you had to quit Bloodborne. Is way too fast. It's so fast. It is so fast. It's definitely a big change if you played a lot of Soulsborne games, but Bloodborne just, it feels very different. Anyways, I posted a Dark Souls 2 video talking about like how a lot of people don't like it and talking about one of the reasons people don't like it. I know hitboxes are a really big concern for a lot of Soulsborne players. And I got that comment a lot of times on that video about how like hitboxes are bad, hitboxes are bad. But because I'm the kind of player that just like brute forces my way through the game, I don't really learn hitboxes. I know that it can get down to the point where not just hitboxes, but like even the weapons hitbox is different depending on the weapon. Like I know certain weapons, if you can hit with like the tip of the weapon, it's going to do more damage versus other weapons. If it's like the middle of the weapon or even like where the hilt of the weapon is, it will do different damage levels based on the weapon you're using. So obviously when you get good enough, you want to be close enough to get the most damage possible. I don't even learn that stuff. I don't know any of that stuff. So the video I made, I was talking about how like the development process wasn't good and everybody kept bringing up the hitboxes. But I just brute forced my way through the game. So like I don't actually feel the mechanical difference. This is how little I feel. If you played these a lot and you're good at them, then you know when you play them, they're all slightly different in the mechanics, but like Dark Souls 2 is very different and a lot of people struggle with Dark Souls 2's mechanics being so different. I don't know what they're talking about. I have zero clue what people are referencing when they say that. Even when they say hitboxes, I don't actually know what's wrong with the hitboxes. I just know people don't like the hitboxes in that game. But I don't know why. It's almost like when you talk about like cars and somebody's talking about like a V8 versus a V8 with like, I don't know, 4.5 liter versus like a V8 with 4.1 liter. I don't know what that means. If it goes faster, it goes faster. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't actually know like what the torque differences are. And I don't know any of that stuff. It's the same with this. I just kind of brute force my way through the game. And so I've never learned to dodge very well. I don't know anything about hitboxes or like the different mechanics for the different weapons. I struggle a lot with that stuff. So like a lot of really good Soulsborne players come to watch me and some get really mad. Others are able to like laugh at how bad I am and almost like, oh my God, this idiot. And they enjoy that. But some get really mad at me because they're like, dude, just dodge it. And I don't know how, man. I don't know. Get the great sword if you're good with brute force. Yeah, I normally go dexterity because I just like the speed, because I can attack a lot, and whether I'm accurate or not, at least a lot of attacking can kind of get me through. But yeah, I learned to get with strength, and I almost always stick with strength. Right now, I'm just kind of just doing whatever. I'm going blind and just not leveling up in any particular way, just because I don't know this game at all. But when I was doing so much Dark Souls and you know, Bloodborne, all those games, I actually, right before this, I was doing Dark Souls 1 and I was doing a 1 stat challenge. So I was only leveling up. What was I leveling up? Dexterity, I think. Only leveling up dexterity, which comes with its own issues. So that's kind of where I get, is I'm so open to builds. I'm so open to, I'm about to fall. Crap, I wasn't paying attention. I should have dodged. That I don't mind messing with builds like that. Yeah, I never beat it. So basically what happened is I took like a year and a few months off streaming. I was doing a lot of TikTok, but I wasn't doing any streaming. I came back to streaming, but very casually. The whole idea was I was going to stream like an hour or two a couple times a week, just to kind of give myself a place to unwind, because I work a lot, and by the time I'm up, I don't really have time to do anything. So I didn't do much. Like, I would just kind of sit on my couch, and so I wasn't doing anything that I enjoyed. So I ended up feeling very I don't want to say tense, but like, just life was so mundane and boring that I felt unhappy. And so I wanted to play video games again. And for me, it was like, well, if I'm playing video games, at least I can do it on stream, and that'll give me people to talk to, because like I spend a lot of time alone, because I work completely alone and at home alone. So it was very boring. Blake, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. And so I went back to streaming with the whole idea of just something to do, just to kind of talk to people and play my games or whatever, super casual. And I started playing Dark Souls because it's just one of the games that I can play over and over and over again. And I was doing the 1 stat challenge. The only reason I moved over to this, I didn't beat that one, is because we went and bought it for me. Because I didn't have the money to buy this, and I was hoping to, like, through subs and stuff, eventually save up money for it. And then we went and bought it for me. And so I was like, okay, now I can play it. So I've started this. But yeah, I was doing the 1 stat challenge. It was definitely a struggle. I was getting to that point where my health and stamina were so low that even though I was doing pretty decent damage, I was getting my butt kicked after a couple of hits. But it also made it fun because I was able to get my butt kicked, and it wasn't always my fault. It wasn't always just me sucking. It was mostly me sucking, but not always. Future, hello, nice to see you. So I'm a subcontractor, but I work overnights. So I go to different like grocery stores and stuff and do a lot of maintenance work, but it's a lot of like heavy duty sanitation stuff. So partially janitorial work, but like I use like big giant machines to clean stuff up and whatever. But I work by myself, like completely alone. So like the store is empty. There's no management. There's nobody. It's just me with headphones on all night. And I go to multiple locations and stuff. So I'm by myself all night. And then I sleep most of the morning, and then I get up, and I have my daughter that I pick up. But, you know, she's 8 years old. She doesn't always want to be with dad at all times. And I'm a grown adult. There's only so much I can talk to an 8-year-old about. And so there are days where, you know, I won't talk to her the whole day because she'll come home from school and kind of just do her own thing, and then she gets ready for bed, and that's it. Or there are days that her and her mom are away and I'm just completely alone. And so I can go days where I literally don't even say a word. So streaming for me was kind of a way to be able to talk to people, hang out, and do something that I enjoy and share it with other people that I know enjoy it too. Plus, originally, I was very heavy into streaming. Like, there was a while there where I was like averaging 30 to 40 viewers per stream. That's kind of where I settled down, between like 25 to 30 viewers per stream, 30 to 40 on like the better days. And, you know, I was really consistent with streaming. I was streaming like 4 times a week, 3 to 4 hours a stream. But life got really busy and I had to cut back on the streams, and then I completely stopped streaming for a while. So I missed just making content. TikTok is fun, but it's not always rewarding. TikTok can be very toxic at times. And so it would be really hard when sometimes I'd be really proud of a video that I did, and then I would just get like ripped apart in the comments. Whereas like on live stream, I can just ban somebody if they're being a jerk. And I can just like goof off, have fun, and it's no big deal at the end of it. It can be kind of scary sometimes, Future. I've gotten better at it now. Whoa. But there was a while there where it got really scary because, you know, you are by yourself in a supermarket at night, in the middle of the night, and you'll hear weird noises and stuff, right? It can be a little bit weird. It can also be, whoa, scary in the sense of like, if something happens, there's nobody there. Crap. Wow, he's scary. It can be scary, like if there's an emergency, there's nobody there to help me. You know, like like I said earlier, I have heart issues, right? And there was a time there where my doctor thought I had a heart attack. And so even now I'm still going through the testing just to make sure everything's okay. But no, I didn't have a heart attack. It was an anomaly just on the test. The test didn't work properly. But during those few months that they were making sure, and we were still kind of like, yeah, you probably did have a heart attack. For those who don't really know anything about healthcare, if you are under the age of 40 and you have a heart attack, it's a 50-50 chance that you're gonna have a heart attack again in the next 4 years. And it's it's almost guaranteed you're gonna have a heart attack again in the next 4 years. And it's a 50-50 chance that it'll be a massive heart attack that'll kill you. So when I was told that I had a heart attack potentially, you know, I'm 36 right now. In a few weeks I won't be anymore, but I'm 36 right now. I'm under the age that I should be to have ever had a heart attack. There was a really good chance that I wouldn't be alive in 5 years. And so obviously I was going through like the typical thing of like, oh my God, I could die and that's scary and blah, blah, blah. But it was, for me, the bigger fear was what happens if I have a heart attack at work and I'm by myself and I can't call anybody and I could have been okay, but because I'm alone, I die. That was really scary for me because, you know, I go in as soon as they close and they don't reopen, like they don't have anybody come in until 6 in the morning. So like, let's say I start work and an hour into my shift, I have a heart attack and then I'm just on the floor all night long. Like that was scary. That was really scary to think of, like, I'm genuinely alone. Or like the machine that I have is a really, really big machine. And there have been times that like I bend down and something will fall on the button and it'll push the machine forward. And you know, I know it's at least 500 pounds. It's probably more. But like if that machine were to run over my hand, it would crush my hand. And I'd be by myself. So like that kind of stuff is scary. Even 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago now. I was at a different place. It wasn't a grocery store. It was a restaurant that I was disinfecting. And I had to take out a bunch of garbage from the back door. And we had a snowstorm that was like on and off all day. And I walked out to take the garbage out and a gust of wind closed the door behind me. And it's a door to the back alley. And so it doesn't have door handles or anything because they don't want anybody being able to get in from the back alley. And the door closed. But my phone was in the restaurant and the key to the restaurant was in the restaurant. And I maintained the front door locked because we got a lot of people that have mental health issues that hang out at the front of the store because we've got an awning and stuff and they can stay out of the bad weather. And a few times I've run into them where they're like full out yelling at me. Now I'm Canadian, to preface, but like they'll be yelling about Trump and like political stuff, but we're in Canada. And like, I'm talking like yelling like in anger. I don't know who they're yelling at, but if they decide to take their anger out on me, it could lead to a bad situation, right? I'm not saying everybody with mental health issues is violent. I'm just saying like he was acting violent at the time. And if I were to trigger them, it would be bad. So I keep the front door locked and the back door closed and it latched and locked. And I was in a t-shirt in the middle of a snowstorm. And so I had to walk around the whole plaza because the restaurant's in a plaza. I had to walk around the whole plaza to get to the front where there were some people cleaning the parking lot, working for the city or whatever, or working for the property. And they, all of them except for one, refused to help me. The one lady tried to help me and we couldn't get back into the store. And then she just left me there. And I was outside for over an hour and a half in -3 weather in just a t-shirt in the middle of a snowstorm. And even though we have an awning, because of the wind, because of the snowstorm, it wasn't doing anything to protect me. I sat outside an hour and a half, just freezing my butt off till somebody showed up with a key to let me back into the store. Those parts really suck about working by yourself in the middle of the night, because there's nobody you can reach out to. It's not like a regular store where like if you get locked out, you just knock on the window and your staff mate will let you in. I'm by myself. That part's weird. That part kind of sucks. Hey, Matt, how you doing? How are things going? In Toronto, nice. I'm in the Falls. So not too far away from each other, actually. Actually, I was in Toronto last month getting my hair done. I go to Toronto to get my hair done. That's cool. I lived in Toronto. No. Okay, you're from Toronto? So I'm going to say I didn't live in Toronto. I lived in North York. For everybody else that's not in Toronto, they consider North York part of Toronto, but North York is a different, like a north end of the GTA, the greater Toronto area. But I lived there for about a year. I wish I would have lived in Toronto. As an actor, I wish I would have stayed in Toronto. But yeah, Toronto's cool. I like Toronto. I like Toronto. Thank you, Matt. You know what? It's been a weird experience. It's been a weird experience. For those who don't know, I wear a hair system. For those who don't know what a hair system is, I wear a wig. And I've only been wearing it now for about 3 months. 4 months almost. It was so December, January, February, March. So yeah, about 4 months. And before anybody like jumps to the conclusion, no, it wasn't. Whoa. It wasn't due to insecurity or anything. It was more just because like I enjoyed doing my hair before I lost it. And I had been, whoa, crap. I had been looking at getting a hair transplant. I have a friend who got it done and it looks phenomenal. But one, the price is insane. I had money saved up and I had to buy a car, so I didn't get it done. 2, I probably wouldn't qualify. I don't have thick enough donor hair to not have a bad outcome. I would end up with a really bad scarring. And 3, because of how much hair loss I have, I would have to do it multiple times, and each time's like 10 grand and up. So it would have been like a $30,000 or $40,000 thing for me. And even then it would still fall out. The transplant would be fine, but the natural hair would still fall out. So I would still end up having to keep replacing it. So I'd been looking at hair systems and I got an opportunity to work with Lord Hair. Actually, you can't see it in this camera angle, but their sign is back there. I worked with Lord Hair. And that's why I go to Toronto to get it done, because it's a company that works specifically with Lord Hair and their systems. But it's been a really weird experience, Matt. The effect it's had on me was not what I expected. Like I said, I didn't feel insecure. I was always fine with being bald. I shaved my head and it was fine, no big deal. But it was just the stuff of like showering and feeling like I'm ready for the day. I didn't expect that to be such a big impact as it is now. Or like, just like, having a bad hair day, and even though it's frustrating, being happy that I have the chance to have a bad hair day. That's a really cool experience. Or the biggest one for me is just like feeling like myself, which is a really hard thing to describe to people, because it's not that I feel more confident. It's just now when I look in the mirror, I see me. Whereas before I would look in the mirror, I knew that was me, but I would look at old videos of myself or old pictures of myself, and it was almost like that was me, but that's a different me than who I am now. And it almost felt disconnected. I didn't feel the journey from one to the other. It just felt like all of a sudden I'm just stuck in this other body. And now I look at the pictures of me from before and I look at myself now and I'm like, yeah, I can see where this person turned into this person. I even ran into some friends from high school when I was shaving my head, and they didn't recognize me. It was, and you could see it in their face of the like, oh my God, what happened to you? Because I looked so different without hair. And now I feel like me. I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I'm just me. That I didn't expect. I didn't expect that at all. It's been really cool. You know, there's always the struggle of people judging you when you bring it up, because we still live in a world where women wearing wigs isn't a big deal, but a man wearing a wig all of a sudden is. Or women wearing makeup is fine, but a man wearing a wig is like they're trying to catfish. But it's like I'm just trying to feel like myself, something that I cannot control. I'm just trying to take control of it again. So it's been really cool, and I'm really liking the way it looks. So I'm happy about it. North York is cool too. Yeah, I didn't get to enjoy North York too much when I lived there, mainly because I moved out there because I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be closer to Toronto downtown so I could do auditions and stuff without having to drive an hour to get there. But when I moved out there, the only job I could get was a construction job. And we normally would meet up at, 4 in the morning and I wouldn't get home till about 7 in the evening. And so like I didn't have energy to do anything. So I never really got to explore. The whole time I lived there, I didn't get to enjoy, which kind of sucked. But yeah, no, I think Toronto's awesome. Now it's way too expensive. I wouldn't want to live there just because of the cost alone, but it's still pretty cool. Now I live in the Falls, which has its ups and downs, you know. Tourists, not a big fan of tourists, but I live right on the edge of the Falls, so I don't really see the tourists, which is nice. Yeah, Brendan, like I can't control the fact that I lost my hair, right? It wasn't like I actively made the choice. Like if you shouldn't make fun of anybody for their choices anyway. But like if you make fun of somebody for the way they dress, they at least have the ability to go, hey, I chose this. I like it. It's because I want this. Whereas like if somebody makes fun of somebody for being bald, it's like, I didn't choose to lose my hair. I didn't choose. Like, it's not like I made life choices that ended up that way. It's like if somebody doesn't brush their teeth, they lose their teeth. That was an active choice, right? But I didn't do anything to lose my hair. I was very into my hair. I liked washing my hair and doing my hair and styling it and all that kind of stuff. I didn't choose to lose it. I tried really hard not to. I went on medication and everything, but there was some struggles with that, so I got off of those. But you know, like I didn't choose to lose my hair, and then I did. And nobody ever made fun of me for being bald, like for not having hair, except for trolls on the internet, which whatever. I don't really care what a troll has to say because they're pathetic if their whole life is about making fun of people online. But it was just for me, you know, like I hated that I didn't have a choice about the hairstyle that I had. You know, I was shaved and that was it. The whole getting ready in the morning, this is something that I try to describe to people, and I just don't know how to make it tangible to people. But like, if you're a morning shower person, which I am, I prefer to shower in the mornings, mainly because it gives me that chance to wake up. I hated that I would roll out of bed and I could literally get dressed and go, or shower and go, and you couldn't tell the difference. There was literally no difference. Whereas like with hair, I'd have bedhead. I couldn't just get out of bed and go out unless I wanted to be obvious and have my bedhead. And after I showered, I felt like I had prepared. I felt like I looked different. I'd look at myself in the mirror and go, I look like I got ready for the day. Whereas when I was bald, I'd look in the mirror and I'm like, yep, I look exactly the same as I did before I took a shower. And I'd have to make sure I shaved my head every day because the little stubble would grow in and it would start to look messy. But it was really frustrating that I couldn't try a new hairdo. I couldn't, you know, style my hair slightly different today, or have a bad hair day, or have a lazy day where I don't do my hair. And now I shower and I feel like I'm ready for the day, even when I look tired. Right now, I know I'm tired. I know I have bags under my eyes. I know I look tired, but I showered, I styled my hair. I look in the mirror and I go, yeah, I look like I took time to get ready. That is something that I didn't realize how much I valued. And to make fun of somebody for losing their hair, they don't realize how much of an effect it has on their whole life. And I've gotten some people that are like, oh, why do you care what people think about you? It's not what they think about me. It's for me. Right? And you're mocking me for something that I had no control over. But like, I want to feel good about myself. I want to look in the mirror and go, yeah, this is who I always imagined I would be when I got older. And then some people have the stupid idea of like, you just want to impress women. And if women don't like you without your hair, they're too shallow. I don't care what women think. I feel more attractive with hair. And whether or not other women agree with me, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I want to look good when I look at myself in the mirror, that when I take a picture of myself, I don't feel embarrassed about the picture of myself. Even if I look bad in the picture, I don't feel embarrassed about it. Whereas like for a long time, I rarely did pictures of myself. And if I did, it was always with like a goofy face because I just never felt comfortable. Now I feel comfortable. Now I feel good. Again, it's still fake hair. It's real hair, but it's not mine. So there are always going to be people that feel like I'm trying to catfish, which is why I try to be open about it. But I also know there are other men out there that won't take this step, even though they really want to, because other men are making fun of them. So I feel almost like if I take the bullet and talk about it openly and get made fun of for it and show that it doesn't bother me because I am open about wearing one, maybe somebody else who might be a little bit more secretive about it might wear one to give themselves the confidence and not have to feel like they have to justify themselves to themselves, if that makes sense. You know, because like I said, women wear wigs and it's no big deal. They do it for fun. And women wear makeup and it's no big deal. Well, why can't I just do this for fun? For myself, to look the way that I want to look, right? Obviously, if I go on a date with somebody, it's going to be something that eventually I will have to tell them, because I don't want to be, you know, in a romantic moment, they rub their hair and then they can feel the seam. They're like, what's that? You know, I'm going to eventually be open about it, but I'm also not going to be like, hi, my name is Luis, I wear a wig. Like, that's not going to go that way either. But I feel like if I at least talk about it openly, then maybe other men will feel a little bit more confident in doing it, because some men aren't as lucky as me. I embarrass myself on a regular basis on purpose. So not having hair wasn't a huge deal to me. But for some men, it's really hard. Like, it's incredibly depressing for some men. So if I can give them that opportunity to kind of, oh crap, to kind of take some of their life back, I'm okay with taking the bullet for that. Oh God. I don't know, Weewin. Is there a difference between the different types of cheesecake? I know there's a Japanese style cheesecake, and that's different. I don't know. Holy crap. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Oh no. No. Aggro him, dude. Aggro him. Come on. Okay. This is the last fight. I gotta go pick up Nora in a little bit. Oh, it's over. It's over. It's over. Whew. I can't believe I missed that second attack, but we got it. We got it. And TN, I appreciate that. This one is really good. This one is a really good hair system. Lord Hair makes good systems, by the way. That's the company that I work with. If you want to try one, you can get 20 bucks off by using retro as the discount code. But I've been working them for a little while, and they were the first system I'd ever tried. I had done some research about them, but I didn't really know what I was looking for. And I also didn't know what I needed. This is the thing with hair systems, is they're all very different. There's all different like materials that are used for like the scalp part. And there are different like thicknesses in the hair itself and how thick the hair amount is. And so I didn't know what I was doing. So the first system I got, which I still have, it ripped. But it ripped because of me. But I didn't know what color I was supposed to be using and how thick it should have been. I had very thick hair growing up, like insanely thick hair growing up. And my hair is very black. Not Asian black, but really close to that. And so when I showed pictures to the contact that I have, he sent me what he thought would be the best. And it was just as thick as my hair used to be. But I've also gotten older, and just overall, your hair thins out as you get older, no matter who you are. Even if you have a full head of hair when you were like 16, your hair was still thicker than what it would be in your 30s. And so the one I got was a little bit too much hair, and the black was slightly too black. Individually, it was the right color of black, but because the hair was thicker and my hair was thinner, and I hadn't grown out my hair yet, you could see the color difference, so it stood out even more. It made it look even more black. So it almost looked like I dyed my hair. The hair still looked real, but it looked like I was dyeing my hair. So once it ripped, I asked them for a replacement. They sent me this one, and this one is lighter, and it's also thinner. This thickness is very accurate to how my hair should be. It's actually almost exactly the same as my real hair. I shaved the sides a little bit. I kind of overdid it there. But when the girl first cut it and I run my fingers through it, I couldn't feel where the fake hair started and my hair ended because the thickness was exactly on. The only difference is that it's a little bit too light. It's got a bit more auburn in it than my hair does. My hair is full black. This one's more of like a really, really dark brown. But the problem is that the really black hair is just slightly too black and this hair is slightly too brown. So my hair falls kind of in between. That being said, it's super realistic. Right now the front seam isn't very good, but it's because I was using glue originally, but I sweat a lot and then the glue would come unstuck throughout the day. So I've put tape in, but I didn't put it perfectly on the edge, so I've got a bit of a noticeable seam at the front right now. But like I have like a cowlick in the back, like an actual, like you could see the little swirl, you could see my scalp. It looks super natural in real life. And I think people, and that's one of the reasons I talk about it so openly, is I think people have a misconception when it comes to wigs that they picture the wigs that you see on like Saturday Night Live, on like the plays on stage, or like in TV shows when someone's wearing an obvious fake wig that they do it on purpose, you know, made with fake nylon hair, and like the wig just looks really obviously bad. These hair systems look very, very realistic. And this is one of the thicker hair systems. They can go very thin. I'm Latino, so I have thicker hair, but when you're looking more like European descent, like somebody from like, you know, Switzerland or something, their hair overall will be thinner normally. They can go very thin with the hair. So even for somebody who is thinning and wants to keep their hair looking very thin, you can go like super thin just to kind of fill in a little bit. They also have like salt and pepper hair. Like there's a huge variety of how you can select your hair to look. Recently they started selling women's wigs, and they even started selling like Afro style hair to suit more people. But people have this misconception that it looks fake, and it can look fake. Like if I went and got like blonde hair, it would stand out obviously. Or you see the guys that are like in their mid 50s that have salt and pepper hair, and then they get like jet black for their wig. It's really obvious when you're in your mid 50s, you don't have perfectly black hair. You're going to have salt and pepper, or it's going to go fully gray. So choose a wig that's going to work for your real hair. That's where it looks really fake. But like this, I don't think it looks fake at all. And when I'm walking around out on the street, I don't ever worry about people noticing. And the funny thing is that this system's actually a bit too small for my scalp. And so I have a bald spot in the back showing right now. But the hairstylist I went to in Toronto, she cut the wig in a perfect way that you don't see it. Unless I like split it, you don't see that there's a bald spot in the back. They're really impressive. They're really, really impressive. And so I try to talk about it openly because I want people who don't know I wear one to know, because then they can also be like, wow, I had no idea. So if I get one, nobody else will know either. To kind of give that feeling to people, which is a liberating feeling, because a lot of men worry that it's going to be really obvious. I luckily never had that fear, but I know a lot of men go through that where they, even after they buy one, they're always worried someone's going to notice, but it's really, really not noticeable. Puntland Pirate, hello. You miss me on TikTok? Why do you miss me on TikTok? I'm still on TikTok. Chilios, yes, it is my first time playing. I'm actually about to stop. I gotta go pick up my daughter. But yes, it is my first time playing. Merle's just watching the random things people are saying and has no idea. Yeah, Chris, I've been mostly blind. I've gotten help a few times because I'm streaming it, I'm talking a lot, and because I'm talking a lot, I don't pay attention to what like NPCs say or what I'm actually supposed to be doing. So it results in me wandering around a lot. I know I've done probably about 10 streams of this game, and 5 streams have easily been spent me just wandering the same areas over and over again without going anywhere. Oh, no worries about the spelling. Yeah, the algorithm is weird. I also haven't been putting out a lot of like high content, like high quality content. A lot of my stuff's been just like me holding the camera and like having some kind of idea and just talking about it. I've also not been doing a lot of like gaming facts or like fun facts or like the really high production skits that I normally do. I've been doing some like stream tips or videos of like just what's happening in the day if I see a video that I think is funny or whatever. And those don't get pushed very much because I started on TikTok giving stream tips, and now everybody who streams gives stream tips. Even people with like 0 experience are giving stream tips. Nothing against them. It's just that they're covering things that have already been said a million times. So anybody that hears like a stream tip, they almost always swipe away immediately, mainly because what I'm going to say has probably been covered already. Also, once I did my shift over to more like gaming content and less stream content, more of my followers were here for that. So when I talk about streaming, they don't care. They want to hear about gaming content. And because I'm not doing the high-end quality stuff, it's not getting pushed as much. So I'm not around on the For You page as much as I used to be, but I'm still on the For You page for certain people. I want to see what it's at right now, actually. Like I had a video out of nowhere reach 1 million, and I have no idea why, because it's been up for a while and it reached over 1 million views. So like it went viral without going viral. Like usually a viral video does it in a very short amount of time. This has been up for a few months and it just like it's at 1.1 million views now, which is like really weird. But this video, I don't know, I'm gonna find it because it's all over my notifications. It's not right now. Weird. Right here. It was at 30,000 views a couple weeks ago. It is now at 91,000 views. 2 days ago, I made a video talking about it. It was at 70,000 views. It's at 91,000 right now. So this one's actually picking up heat, but the video's been up since December. So I am on some people's For You page. Just the For You page is really weird right now. It's really, really weird right now. Chris, I'm the same way. I'm very much into games with story. These tend to be very... The story is hidden. Like you can find a very deep story here. I'm gonna try fighting this guy one more time and then I'm gonna stop. So it's a lot of just like unless you're paying attention, you can pretty much get through the whole game without knowing what the heck is going on, which is like the story in every Dark Souls. But because I'm streaming, I'm paying even less attention to what's going on, so I end up just not paying attention. I'm definitely more into games with story. I'm playing Dead Space as well on Thursdays. But I have the opposite problem with Dead Space, where there's so much story going on that I don't get absorbed because I'm too busy talking and I miss the story. Needless to say, when I'm streaming, I never know what the heck is going on in the game. Go! Okay, this is it. I'm gonna have to be able to beat this guy now. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Okay. Whew. We're good. Ouch. Oh, no. You think my stream tips were the best? I don't know if they were the best. I just, I guess because I'm neurodivergent and all that, I would go into more detail than a lot of the people who do stream tips nowadays do. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody. Somebody like Cat Liente really goes into detail. She's really knowledgeable. But there's a lot of like up-and-coming streamers that'll make stream tips, and their stream tips are very, very basic, and they don't really go into detail of why they're saying what they're saying. You know, they'll be like, oh, pick a good game for streaming, and that's all they'll say. And they won't tell you why you need to do that or what a good game for streaming is. And sometimes that actually makes it a worse stream tip than going through the trouble of telling people what you should do. Whereas I almost talked too much, trying to give like as much detail as I could in a few seconds. What also helped me when I was doing the stream tips is I was one of the first, so there wasn't as many streamers on TikTok doing the stream tips. There was like me, Knocked Wolf, and Cat Liente, and even Cat Liente started doing them after I did. Because Cat Liente started streaming way after I did. Like, I've been streaming way longer than Cat Liente has. But obviously everybody has different, there we go. Different circumstances in life, you know, like I have a family. I live on my own. She was living at home. She doesn't have a family. So there's different ways that she could spend her energy that I couldn't. But I also brought different things to the table with life experience that she didn't. But yeah, I was one of the first. So that helps you shine when you're one of the first people doing it. I like doing the video game facts stuff, but the video game facts stuff is also very hard because I have to do a lot of research, and some people either don't listen to what the video says or they instantly get mad even though that's not what you're saying in your video. You know, like I did that one report about the Series S, and I get it. That's a hot topic and people disagree and whatever. But there are people that have accused me of being a Sony fanboy and that's why I'm bashing Xbox, except I've got one PlayStation 5. But I've got the Series S, the Series X, the One X, the One S, and a One. And I pay for Game Pass and I don't pay for PlayStation Plus. Like, if anything, I'm an Xbox fan. But I'm not really a fan of either. I think they're both greedy corporations. I think they both have their issues, and I know that certain games I prefer on the PlayStation because I can only play them on the PlayStation. And there are certain things about the Xbox I prefer. Like, I way more prefer the controller shape to this, but I prefer the DualSense triggers. So when you do game facts, sometimes it's really hard because you'll get people that'll get really angry. Or like when I do the anti-piracy, I'll talk about it, and there'll be people that'll try to mock me and say I'm lying. because they're like, well, I played it and it didn't happen. You just suck at pirating. And it's like, you realize this game was pirated like 15 years ago and you're like 12. So yeah, you can pirate it because people my age had to endure the anti-piracy and we figured out how to work around it. So it's not that you're smarter, it's that you were just hand-fed that pirate thing. So sometimes it can be really hard. So I have to do like extra research to make sure I'm not going to talk incorrectly, because you'll always get some butthurt gamer that's going to want to like try to rip you apart and fight with you in the comments, which can be really frustrating. It's like the Xbox thing where I said the Series S could be holding back Xbox, and everybody's comeback was, well, PC gaming, you can have a really weak PC that can play this game. They could do that with the Xbox. But they all want to ignore the fact, and I've had some fully dismiss it when I bring it up. They want to ignore the fact that, yeah, on PC, you could turn down the resolution, you could turn down the textures, you can make it look like an Xbox One game on like a brand new game. But if you do that with the Series S, then nobody's going to buy the Series S, because if it looks like an Xbox One game, why would you pay the extra money for a Series S? So Microsoft has to force the better graphics, but the console's not good enough to do that. So that's where the problem lies. Like, yeah, it could do it if they could turn down all the settings, but they're not allowed to, and that's the problem. But they're like, no, whatever, you just don't know what you're talking about. I disagree. Then why don't they just turn down the graphics? What would be the logic for them not turning down the graphics? And their only excuse is Sony paid them off, or they're not fans of Xbox. That's stupid. The point is Microsoft isn't allowing them to. That's it. That's all there is to it. But people still argue with me. So it's like I have to make sure that I've done the research so I can, you know, defend myself when people come after me. So that makes it a lot slower to make those videos. So I end up filling time with a lot of like pointless videos of me talking about something stupid or bringing up something dumb that I saw on the internet. Because it's a lot of work. When I do those videos, I tend to shoot like 6 or 7 at a time of any of like the high-end videos, but I spend all day doing it. And so it's really hard for me to sit down all day and record, because even just recording can take me, you know, an hour to record those 6 30-second videos. But then if I get into like the full-blown, like the funny videos with like the mom and the kid, or the 2 boys talking, or the Hey Retro guy, that could take me up to like 3 hours to record one of those videos, because I got to set up lighting for every single camera angle and then edit it all. And it's a lot of work. So then that in turn makes me not pop up on the For You page as much, because it's a lot of stuff and I've got a lot going on in my life. Hopefully come summertime, I'm going to have a lot more free time, and then I'll be able to have that high quality stuff come up on a regular basis, because I can dedicate like a whole day to doing it. And if I do that a couple times a week, I can get ahead and do like 15 to 20 videos to have them ready for the whole month and get it done in a couple of days. Do you know what I mean? Oh, man. Exactly, Chadley. I could do it with this patch. It's easy. And it's like, yeah, it's easy, but that's because all the older gamers figured it out. You know, like, how do you think we know about these anti-piracy measures? Because we ran into them and then worked around it. You know, like I was, what was one of them? I think it was Earthbound, where I had talked about how like it gets really hard and you'll get like way more battles and stuff. And some people are like, no, it seemed the same to me. And it's like, because by the time you've played it, Earthbound's been out for 20 plus years. The patch has been fixed to work around the anti-piracy measures. So you can just have the regular copy. Although some people did bring up a really good haha moment when I brought up the one where it's like you can get to the very end of the game and then the game just crashes before you finally beat the boss. And most of them are like, yeah, but I played the whole game, so I don't really care. It's like, that is a good point. You played the whole game, so it doesn't really matter. You may not see the conclusion, and if you don't care about the actual conclusion, no big deal. But sometimes they get like so defensive of like saying that I lied, and it's like, no, man, it's what happened. You know, Batman Arkham Asylum, where he couldn't fly. And some people will be like, oh, I got it and I could fly, because we worked around it, because we figured it out. It's funny. It's just so funny. Some people tend to forget that there were other generations beforehand that put in the work, or that things have been around for a really long time, and what happened then doesn't apply now the way it did back then. It's so weird. Yeah, hack the PS5 on your own. Right? Oh my god. That's my favorite. And that's going back to the Xbox Series S thing, where like, well, it can play on the mid-tier PC. Nobody's got a like almost nobody has a PC more powerful than the Series S. That's true. but I made a follow-up video. I know you don't use TikTok, Chadley, but I made up a follow-up video talking about that, because basically the video was, I'm going to stop, so I'm just going to do this. Basically the video was talking about how Larian had said that they were having issues with split screen on the series consoles, and so they're not going to release Baldur's Gate 3 on the series until they can get that settled. That's what they said. Yes, it is me taking a bit of a stab in the dark, just like most people reporting this, but it's really obvious it's the Series S doing it, because that is the less powerful system. And a few people, obviously Microsoft fanboys that are very butthurt that I even mentioned this, they're like, well, they don't say Series S. And well, a few of them were like, no, they've already disproved this, it's not true. And so I showed them proof that there's nobody that's ever said that's not true from Larian. And they're like, point where it says Series S. The PlayStation 5 and the Series X are very, very close in power. And most of the time, the Series X ends up performing better than the PlayStation 5. Not by much, by like a frame or two, but it tends to do better. So is it going to be the console that usually outperforms the PlayStation 5? Or the one that is far weaker that is causing the issue when it comes to split screen? It's an obvious answer, right? And so they'll get really mad at me. And then they'll bring up the whole thing of, well, a lower end PC that's weaker than the Series S can play this game, so what's the big deal? The Steam Deck is going to play this game, what's the big deal? But they just ignore the whole thing of like, it's a next gen console. And so there are certain settings that are required. And like, the younger generation of gamers, I know I'm being old here, the younger generation of gamers have fallen into this mindset of frame rate and resolution are the only graphical settings out there. Because they either are competitive players, so they want the highest frame rate, or the graphics settings are 4K. But there's so much more. There's the different types of lighting and the different types of reflections and the texture resolution and how far things pop in. All of that affects graphics, but they ignore all of that, right? And so I don't think Baldur's Gate's going to be using ray tracing, but that's like my one really obvious example that I used in the follow-up video that I made, where I was like, the 1660 video card on paper has more teraflops than the Series S does. And so the Series S technically would underperform versus the 1660. But the 1660 is incapable of doing ray tracing. And so if you want to use ray tracing, the 1660 can't do it at all, despite it being more powerful than the Series S. And the 1660 is technically a mid-tier, lower-end video card that like a basic gaming computer would have. It's a very average gaming computer, gaming card. But you couldn't get ray tracing out of it. It wouldn't work. It's not available. But the Series S can do ray tracing, but it's less powerful than the 1660. And even then, on paper, the 1660 is not technically made for 4K gaming. It can do it. It's just not going to do it well at max graphics. So when you got the Series S, that's more powerful than a low-end, or less powerful than a low-end computer graphics card, and you're trying to force it to do ray tracing, it's going to struggle. And that was my whole point, is that, yeah, it's a decent system. It's a good system. I don't think it's a bad system at all. I actually really like it. I'm impressed with how small it is. But Microsoft wants to sell you next gen. That's their big thing. And how do they sell you next gen? Because it's not like before where you go from 2D to 3D, where it's like, even if the game looks ugly, it's 3D. So it's a difference. Ray tracing and maybe like the load times are really the big seller of next gen. So they're going to force as much graphics out of the next gen console that they can, or else nobody's going to want to buy it. And so that's my argument, is that Microsoft is the one forcing these companies to do more than what the Series S can do. But they get so mad because a mid-tier PC can run this game. Why can't that? Because a mid-tier PC doesn't have to meet certain visual aspects that the Series S has to right now. If Microsoft just let it go and let them do whatever they want, I'm sure everything could run on the Series S and could run well. But if you're trying to force ray tracing and the really fast load times and certain texture resolutions, there's nothing you can do. It's not going to perform well unless you really optimize the game, which in the end, a company like Larian doesn't work for Microsoft. So the extra work they have to put in isn't going to be worth it for them if they can just put it on the more powerful console or on PC and still make money for the amount of work they have to put in to get it to work properly on the Series S. That's the whole thing. But people ignore it because they just know that a PC can run it, but they ignore all the other details. So it's the same with the modding and the anti-piracy. It's like, yeah, you can download a patch. You ignored all the work that went into that patch. It's not just a magic patch that just appeared. Somebody actually had to figure out what what anti-piracy existed and how they got around it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Macrotone, and most people are okay with graphics. I'm a big fan of graphics. Most people are okay with graphics being subpar. But the big thing that's happening right now is we're in a weird time in gaming where if you look at a Series S game or a Series X game, whatever, this generation, and you look at an Xbox One game or a PS3 game, there are differences in graphics, but it's nothing that's revolutionary. Like, you don't look at it and go, oh my God, it looks like a totally different generation. It's just like, yeah, it's way prettier. But there are some games from the PS3 era that still hold up really well because they were artistically made. I mean, look at Wind Waker. Wind Waker still looks amazing now. Whereas before, if you looked at like a PlayStation 1 game to a PlayStation 2 game, it was mind-blowing how much it had advanced in one generation. So it's harder for them to sell the better graphics, but they still want you to buy the next generation of consoles because they do want to up the game, make them bigger, make them more elaborate. But the only real benefit to next gen is the better graphics. So the only thing they can do is sell you the better graphics. And it's really hard to sell better graphics if they're not noticeable. So they have to find something to push. Sadly, right now we're in that weird time where the stuff that they're pushing, most stuff isn't powerful enough for it. Like, I've got a 3070, and with ray tracing on at full 4K, it can still chug on certain games. So when you're talking about a Series S, which is way less powerful than a 3070, it's really hard to get that ray tracing to look decent. But if you don't have the ray tracing, how do you show somebody that, and then they look at an Xbox One, and it just doesn't look much different, and then justify spending the extra money on that new console when the Xbox One looks just as good? So that's where the companies are struggling right now, is most people don't fully care about graphics, but it's the only thing the console can sell you right now. There's nothing else really that they can really be like, this is a game changer. It's not like VR. VR, it looks like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 for a lot of games out there. But they can sell you alone on just the VR aspect of it. Series S versus Xbox One, there's not really a big seller, except for the graphics that are, you know, ray tracing and stuff. And even then, if you look at ray tracing and certain games that don't have it but have really good lighting systems, you can't even tell the difference unless you look at them side by side. So it's a hard time for console manufacturers right now. It's a really hard time right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's sharper. That's pretty much it. It's sharper. Or like how they'll be like the bounce light, it's a little bit more orange in the shadows. Cool, but if I didn't see that, I wouldn't notice, right? Like, this game doesn't have ray tracing, I don't think. And the shadows and lighting look great, but it doesn't have ray tracing, right? Unless you're looking at it neck and neck, you're not really going to be like, wow, this looks so much better. It's weird. Yeah, exactly, Chadley. And I think that's the big thing. That's where I get really impressed with certain games. That's what really impressed me with Dark Souls 2. When I got that on PC, I had it on a little tiny 13-inch laptop. That's where I first played it, and it ran really, really well on that little laptop. And my brother had a big beefy gaming laptop, and mine ran as well as his. Now, graphically, his was nicer looking, but it was so well optimized that lower end systems could play it really well. But yeah, it takes so much work for a game to be optimized in the best way possible. Again, the Series S, I think, is a good console. I think it's got sufficient power to do a lot, but the amount of time it takes to optimize is not worth it for third-party companies. For Microsoft, it's worth putting in that work. But for somebody like Larian, who's also going to sell on PC and also sell on, you know, on PlayStation, and who knows down the line, maybe on the iPads or whatever, it's not always worth that extra optimization. But once it's optimized, it can be mind-blowingly good. That's the whole thing with the Mac chips. You know, the M1 on paper, yeah, it's not really impressive. And a lot of Apple haters really like to go down that road. There's one guy in particular on TikTok that he's very knowledgeable, and I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. But he's like so anti-Apple, which I'm mostly anti-Apple. I don't like how Apple is, but they sell me on the optimization because the M1 isn't great, but because everything for the Apple ecosystem is so well optimized for the Apple hardware that you can have underpowered stuff outperform the overpowered, unoptimized hardware. Like, I've got a MacBook Air and I'm editing 4K videos and I never have my laptop crash. And it can render the videos in a relatively quick time. Whereas like on my big PC with a 3070 and a what is it? A Ryzen 7 CPU, DaVinci was crashing every 20 minutes to half an hour. Exporting a 5-minute video could take up to 15 minutes sometimes. And this is a far more powerful thing than my M1 MacBook Air. but it's optimized. So the M1 can work really well. So I think if Microsoft was more into first party stuff, I guarantee you that Series S wouldn't be struggling the way it is. I bet you there would be phenomenal games out there on the Series S. But for some reason, they decided to make an extra console and then rely on third party to do everything. And third party isn't going to spend the extra time to optimize well. They're going to optimize to get it through. But usually it doesn't perform as well. And I bet you it could. I bet you it could perform amazingly, you know? Yeah, Chadley, I agree. There's some stuff on the Switch that I think is mind-blowing how good it runs for really, really underpowered hardware. You know, because by the time it came out, it was on already aging hardware. It was you know, tweaked to be up to date, but it was already hardware that wasn't cutting edge. So now 6 years down the line, it's really feeling its age, but they still do a decent job with it. They can still make it look good with the artistic angle and with optimization specifically for the Switch. I mean, The Witcher running on the Switch is amazing. That's crazy that it can do that. I haven't tried Metroid Prime yet, but I've heard some good things. Nintendo's a perfect example of what optimization can do. They can have underpowered hardware and still make it look amazing just by optimizing it. And I think that's where Microsoft's dropped the ball, is they're relying on third party to do everything and not doing anything themselves. Because if they could release something like The Last of Us for the Xbox, where it was made by Microsoft, optimized by Microsoft, and they put money in to make it phenomenal, it could really shut people up from bashing the Series S. But instead, they're relying on all third-party stuff. And like, what, Halo came out, and it wasn't a good game. It's not a shining example of what the Series S can do. So it's like, they're dropping the ball. I think a lot of the blame falls on Microsoft, whereas a lot of people are blaming Larian. But like, Larian released Divinity Original Sin 2 on the iPad, and I play it on my iPad mini, and it runs amazing and looks great. And that's a pretty hefty game, and it runs well, but it's optimized. Optimization would make all the difference, but if the money's not there, why would a company spend all that extra time really optimizing when they could just kind of get it running on the Series S, but make sure it runs well on the X? It almost puts the S in the crosshairs when it's not the S's fault. I do still think that it's underpowered. I do still think that it could have done better, but I get it. Not everybody has $700-800 to spend on the Series X. Like in Canada, it's almost $1,000 for that thing. For a budget family, $400 or $500 makes a lot more sense. It just sucks that Microsoft has really dropped the ball. I mean, they continue to drop the ball. They never really picked it up from the first place. All right, Macrotone, have yourself a good day. I appreciate it. Oh my God, Banjo-Kazooie remake would be amazing. That would be so cool. Okay, I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up Nora. It's 10:46. She gets out at 2:46. She gets out at 2:45. So I got to get going. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate you all being here and listening to me blab on. We made some progress. I actually beat a few optional bosses. That's nice. I'll take that. I'll be back on Thursday, and we'll continue with some Dead Space. I really, really doubt I'll be streaming tomorrow. I never really stream on Wednesdays, but I really doubt it. I'm super tired. I want to just laze out. I want to play some VR and not have to worry about anything. I'm going to try to record some TikToks to get that kind of going again. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate all the love and support. TikTok, I will see you next time. Bye-bye. And YouTube and Twitch, I am going to get out of here. I will be back Thursday. Yes, I'm going to try Wee-Win. I don't know. I got to go pick up Nora, and then I got to make dinner. I got to clean the house. The house is a disaster right now. And then I got to work tonight. It's going to suck. Oh, I don't want to work. But it's my Friday. I'm off tomorrow. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm out of here. I will see you later. Have yourselves a great day. Wee-Win, still no package. I'm keeping an eye out on it, though. It says it's in the country now. So fingers crossed it'll be here in the next, 3 to 4 days. I hope. Okay, everybody, see you later.